Hey everybody, welcome back to the Danger Planet. Today, we're doing a faction focus for the Bayou faction in Malifaux 4th Edition.
Bayou? More like, I wish I had something ready for this.
Amazing! Hello, esteemed friends and colleagues from the frigid swamplands of Malifaux. Today, I am joined by Danger Planet Sam, as per occasional. Sam, say hello to the internet.
Hello, Internet.
And of course, if you've been to a Malifaux tournament in 4th edition, there's a good chance that you've ran into our other esteemed Bayou colleagues. The first one, of course, being Anne-Marie, aka Rapidash, on the internet. Anne-Marie, say hello to the internet for the first time on the Danger Planet.
Hello, Internet, for my first time on the Danger Planet.
Oh my gosh, how was your trip in? Was it good? You hit any traffic by the Kuiper Belt?
Are your arms tired?
I mean, it was a little bit bumpy, but understandable.
Are you sure it wasn't a little bit? Hold on, wait for it. What's Stumpy? Oh, damn, that's not how that works. Roughly, Barrelby. Damn. Okay.
Move on.
Well, look. Okay, we'll move on. So Anne-Marie is our esteemed Bayou friend who goes to all the Malifaux tournaments. That's why I met her. We went to multiple tournaments together last year. It was great. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully your time at the Danger Planet will be pleasant. Also, for the first time on the channel, we have Ed. Ed, say hello to the internet.
Hello, Internet.
You might know Ed from going to Gen Con because he's the TO there, or perhaps being in the Florida meta where he's also kind of the TO there. Ed, what other things do you do? Within the sphere and context of Malifaux only, of course.
Oh,
the only thing
damn.
I care about.
All right.
No, you can say other things.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I come from Florida, where everyone plays Bayou, so.
Amazing. 1 year, Kelly from Wyrd, who I swear to God I'm going to get on the channel one day, even though she refuses every time I ask her, was like, hey, can we put the new TO in your room to Jeff and I, Jeff, Defective Dice Jeff? And we were like, yes, we will plan for this. And then we did. And then somehow he didn't run screaming in terror 5 minutes into the first night. And now we're friends.
Yeah, it's a great time.
Okay. So shout out to Jeff. I'm sorry that I didn't have you come on this episode to torment Ed with me. But we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait until Gen Con for that. Let's, without further ado, get into this, because the last time I shot one of these videos, which was the Neverborn one a couple weeks ago, or a few days ago, in actuality, you'll never know. Ha ha ha. With Trisha and Scott. It took 3 hours to shoot, and we're going to make it shorter than that. So, first, Lee Firstington, I'll explain the system. This is what we do. We're going to rate every single model on a scale of plus flip to neg flip, with nothing in between. There's no neutral flip. We're not about that anymore. Pick a side. That's like the 4th edition mantra. This isn't political commentary. Who can say? But what I will say is we're going to rate each model, at least from the versatile bits, in their schemingness, their beaterness, and also their utility. Utility in this context is things like making markers, having lots of extra movement, and putting out tokens or condition removal or token removal or marker removal, which is kind of a thing Bayou does, and a bunch of other stuff. So we'll see where we get when we get to it. And if you're following along at home, go ahead and open your Malifaux Crew Builder app, or perhaps even your Theory Foe, to see what we're talking about. We're starting with Barrelby. Barrelby costs 7 stones. He has armor and ramming speed. Barrelby costs 7 stones. He's got 5 for defense and willpower. He has armor and ramming speed. Ramming speed's an ability that we're going to see on a lot of these models, but not all of them, weirdly, which gives their melee attacks generated by the charge action +1 skill in any one suit. So a lot of them just get to build in suits, which is pretty strong. He has staggering punch, which has 2 damage, staggers things with some good triggers. Barrel blast, a 10-inch spell that's versus speed that lets you move the target and do 2 damage. And Barrelby's signature action is leap at the wheel. Friendly only move the target 3, and then models within pulse 2 of the target gain a poison token. Anne-Marie, what do you think about Barrelby?
I think it's solid. You like a decent model to put on the board. Nothing super fancy.
Yeah.
Don't love it, but For 7 stones, it's not terrible.
Ed, what do you think? Barrelby, you hiring him? As a
I think it depends on the pool.
Yeah.
I think having the ability to move enemies and the ability to move allies gives him some, versatility there. But not in every crew, definitely.
Yeah. Sam?
I like that he's got a stat 7 good for a laugh built-in attack. Like, that's actually really sweet.
Sure.
The card draw is not common in this edition. That said, 7 stones is a lot. And his movement tricks are kind of small. Like, he doesn't move people very far, friends or enemies. So, I mean, I've seen him played. I've been like not super impressed, but I don't think you're embarrassing yourself by put him in his list.
Yeah. And I think so. Given the critically acclaimed and trademarked rating system, this guy's you're not hiring this guy for damage, so he's definitely getting an egg flip in beaterness. Yeah. As far as scheming is concerned, I don't know. We're also giving him an egg flip. He doesn't really do much scheming.
Yeah,
Correct.
I think that's correct.
Plus flip utility. I mean, I think that
that's
the movement's fine. The good for the laugh charge seems okay. I don't know that poison's particularly useful out of context, but yeah.
The big problem with it is that its enemy models only gain poison, so you can't just like quickly pulse out poison for use in your own Brewmaster crew.
True.
If he could do that, I'd be a lot more interested in him.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess. So are we even going to give him a plus flip in utility? Or are we talking neg flip?
I wouldn't say neg flip. I mean, good for a laugh you can build in is pretty sweet.
All right, fine. We'll give a plus flip in utility. Bo Peep. She costs 7 stones. She's also 5 defense and willpower. She is hard to kill, and the crowd goes wild. A once per activation ability where when a friendly model with an 8 of this model damages an enemy model, that friendly model gets to heal 1. It's pretty solid. I think it does stuff. Her melee attack is called Hogwash Slosh. It's a 4-inch melee because it's a whip, like you do. It does 2 damage, and if the target's in base contact, she gets to build in a plus flip automatically. It has a stone trigger to choose a friendly jockey model in play anywhere on the board and move them up to 5 inches. Knock aside and rampage, and then her tactical actions are Nitro Boost, which is a pulse 3. Friendly models within range get to move 3 or heal 1. They can make a ski marker in base contact with one of the models moved this way, and expanding influence, which lets you move an ally or a friendly minion. It is sort of worth noting, I think, that the ally part is relevant with jockey because it will move other jockeys, not just the models that are Sui that are she's hired with. But it's weird. It's a weird place to have an ally only ability in a versatile model. Ed, what do you think about Ms. Peep?
I think she's going to fall in the same category of Barrelby for me. Like, her movement tricks seem useful. There are going to be times where she's all right. I like speed 7, but 7 points is a lot.
Yeah,
for how little she's doing.
For sure. Anne-Marie, are you high on the Peep?
I mean, I like the Peep. I think she's a little bit more situational, kind of you don't want it in everything, but has good versatility. Also worth mentioning that she is the henchman, so she's a versatile henchman you can bring into a crew.
Yeah. Fair enough. I think the only actual relevant is that she can get 3 stones if your master dies, or 3 AP if your master dies. Yeah, that's a thing. Sam, what do you think on the Peep?
I mean, maybe I'm just judging her harshly compared to how good she used to be, but like I don't love this model. She does like a little bit of movement tricks, but just people are so much faster in this edition that the small amount of movement that she does is relatively less impressive. And her healing is like 1 is a lot less than 2.
Sure. Yeah. So just as I guess as an aside here, we are rating her objectively as she is now, not objectively as she is, or not subjectively from the perspective of she's no longer the single best model in your entire faction.
I don't think that was ever true, but she was a lot better than she is now.
I mean, I don't know. I played against Bo Peep a lot, Sam. You'll remember hiring her against me quite a few times.
She was always higher in some crews and not others.
Yeah. So she's not. Again, we're not really hiring her for damage. She's getting a neg flip there. Scheme wise, I mean, she basically does the same amount of scheming, which is to say 1 sometimes. So I think we're putting her a neg flip there. And if we gave Barrelby a plus flip on utility, we're giving Bo Peep a plus flip.
I wouldn't. I actually would differ on that. I think that utility wise, she is substantially worse than Barrelby, because again, her utility is something that I think the faction has more of elsewhere.
Yeah.
this mobility tricks, and Barrelby is offering something you don't get elsewhere as much.
Which
I
is
don't know. It's like the card
card
draw thing. Yeah, card draw is like
Well,
really strong, really strong.
all right, Ed Emery, weigh in on this. Do you also feel similar?
I mean, I think she has some utility. I actually feel that she's not terrible to bring in for damage. You know, because if she's in base you have a 4-inch range, like skill 6, 2 damage, and then you get built-in positive flips for everything if you're in base contact. So like, you can bring her in for damage. I think she's just basically, I'd like to say mid-range for everything, but we're not allowed to do that. We have to pick a side.
Yeah, you gotta pick a side.
I gotta pick a side.
You gotta pick one. All right, Ed, if you don't say she deserves a plus flip in utility, I'll give her a negative. Go.
I'll give her a plus flip in utility.
Yeah.
All right, we're plus flipping our utility.
Yeah.
We'll call it there.
I'm a softie.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll phrase things the other way, so you have to pick that next time.
Okay.
Let's talk drumstick. This is more expensive. This guy costs 8. So 8 stones for 5 defense and willpower, 7 speed again. He flies, which is fancy. We have ramming speed again, and this time he has a unique ability called In a Cloud of Dust. After resolving an action that targeted and damaged this model, you can pitch a card and move 5. It's like Super Butterfly Jump. Except it can't get turned off, which is kind of neat. He has Up We Go as an attack, which you see on all kinds of things. Place things after they're damaged, does 2 damage, which is fine. Falling Skies is his tactical action, which is once per activation, target a marker, pulse out a TN12 speed duel that deals 2 damage, or and moves them 2 inches if they fail it, and then you rip the target away, which, you know, does some stuff. And he has Fly With Me, which is a weird place to be for the Bayou. Sam, what do you think on Mr. Stick?
I actually kind of like him. I mean, Fly With Me is just a really, really strong ability and always has been. And Up We Go is a really strong attack. And the fact that you can, again, ramming speed is a big deal on this guy, because being able to build in Rampage means you charge 7, attack someone 2, and then move 5, ignoring models and terrain the whole time, and maybe inflicting damage, but you don't even really care. Like, this is really freaking fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, 8 stones is a lot though. So I would like this guy a lot more if he was not 8 stones, but 11 health is enough that I don't think it's like embarrassing, especially because he actually has a pretty decent defensive tech.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
I think I would say beater neg flip. I don't love him for damage, but as schemer, I think he has some potential. And utility, I think he has potential.
Yeah, in the realm of Fly With Me, you know, Fly With Me, interact, right? Because he can reach a marker that you kick. Place within.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do Fly With Me, charge somebody, move 5 with Rampage, and then interact. You have a lot of different like routes.
That's true.
Also, you know, being in Big Hat, he has access to the Big Hat crew cards, which are strong cards for interacting.
Yeah, for sure. Ed, what do you think about Mr. Stick? Are you drumming?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Sam there. Like, as a schemer, definitely a plus flip for me.
Emery, any additional stick-based drums to fact?
No, for damage or for beating up on things. It's not really like what he's best at. Yes, for scheming, and then I think yes for utility too. I think Fly With Me helps, and he's just so fast. Like, you can get anywhere on the board. Speed 7 really helps.
Yeah, I recall a recent attempt on an Effigy's life by Mr. Stick in a game that I played against some random Bayou player recently, where he turn 1 just shot across the board and tried to murder me. Yeah, so yeah, fair enough. So that's fine. Neg flip damage plus flip scheme, and we're giving him a neg flip on utility. He doesn't really move or do anything else to anyone.
No, well, utility, I would say.
Yeah, plus flip on utility, right?
Yeah, plus flip on utility.
Fly With Me. Yeah,
he also has,
it's
he also has a 10-inch TN5 marker removal that's like marker agnostic.
That's right. Utility. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, because you can target any non-strategy marker to do it. It can target scheme.
Yeah, it doesn't say non-scheme marker, which a lot of similar abilities do.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, let's jump over to Mr. Fluffernutter. Fluffernutter costs 3 stones. He has 5 defense, 4 willpower, resilient, and stampede. An ability that we're going to see on a couple of these guys, although we haven't seen it yet. Stampede, basically, after you end a charge, if you end in base contact with models, you can take 1 damage. If you do, you deal 1 damage to other models in base contact. He has 3 health as well because he's a 3-point model. He doesn't have any signature actions at all, and he has a 1 damage, 1 inch stat 4 melee that deals its damage twice. So, like, I don't know, maybe I guess he can spike a red joker and do some nonsense. And he also has Carrot Cake Quake, which pulses out 1 damage to enemy models within 2 of him once per activation.
It's within 2 of his target, which is anywhere within 6 inches. So it's a little better than you make it sound.
Oh, sure. You're right. But it is worth noting that he doesn't have what do you call it there? Ramming speed, so he can't build in triggers for free. Sam, what do you think, Mr. Nutter?
No, this guy's bad. He just instantly dies. He doesn't do much. He's very low impact. I mean, yeah, he's cheap, but like, I'm not going to spend 3 stones hiring a model that does nothing.
Wow. I mean, but what about double? Okay, Emery, how do you feel about Fluffernutter? Are you hiring him ever?
I think he's hot garbage. He's just a liability on any list.
Yeah. Fair enough. Ed, anything in defense of Nutter? Fluff or otherwise? Okay, wild. So like flips all around. I feel like we might have a similar situation here with Ruffles, the next model we're going to talk about. This guy is a 3-stone model, also with 3 health, also with resilient and stampede, and also 5 defense, 4 willpower. He also has no signature actions, but his actions are violent pecking, which is a stat 5 1 damage attack that has a res value of 3 with potentially relevant triggers. I mean, he seems fine. And Crazed Chicken to move models within pulse 2 of the target up to 2 inches. Huh? Ed, what do you think? Ruffles?
Still no.
No? Okay. Well,
yeah.
I tried. Emery, any Ruffle-based facts that you want to share with the class?
So he does actually have some niche usability at 3 stones. It's worth bringing in with Trixie, because like you can use some stuff on the crew card. He's got like a little bit of usability, but
because he is the Mawtucket one. Yeah.
Because he's the Mawtucket one. Yeah. So like if a model has an analyze token on it, you can use their action. So you can actually use a 3-stone model to do something big on another with a little bit of setup to get a really big action from an enemy model.
Yeah, it's almost like he's like the Effigy slot, right? Because he's like the if my crew does something interesting. I wonder. I guess Fluffernutter we already talked about with Wong. That's probably not relevant that I recall, but yeah, fair. Interesting concept. Sam, do you are you ruffling?
Yeah, I mean, I like him more than I like Fluffer, but I still think he's got the same problems. I think Crazed Chicken is a better tactical than Carrot Cake Quake, but a 6 is like sometimes you're going to need to cheat a card from your hand, and you really don't want to be doing that here. Like you want to spend your cards on things that are more high impact. And again, in any situation where your opponent benefits from killing your models, aside from like the obvious just taking a piece off the board, like we're talking like recover evidence, or if they have like a crew that benefits from remains markers, or a crew that gets like on kill triggers, you're just feeding them free stuff. Yeah. Under those circumstances, definitely not. So I mean, like the only thing I think we could even argue is like a utility thing from Crazed Chicken. So we're just gonna neck flip them all the way across the board. Yeah, that's fine. Back to the not 3-stone models. We have possibly my favorite jockey, Squish and Squash. So Squish and Squash cost 5 defensive willpower. We have ramming speed back. We have resilient, and then expert climber, so you can ignore vertical distance when resolving the walker charge action once per activation, and 7 health. We have Kissed by a Prince, which is a 5 skill attack that doesn't do damage in and of itself. It heals 1, and for every raise this action receives, the target heals an additional, and it can target friendly models. There is a trigger that you can build in automatically on a charge due to ramming speed that lets you instead do damage, and also a trigger to move the target 4 and then move up to 4, which has to end within 2, so it's kind of like a mini take by the hand. She also has Leapfrog as a signature action, which is just like it sounds, place this model within 3 of the target, with the trigger to then do it again by placing the model within 3 of you, which is pretty neat, I think. Anne-Marie, how do you feel about Ms. Squish / Squash?
Okay, also worth mentioning that the names of all the jockey models are the names of the animals or creatures they are riding, and not the actual gremlins. But
Yeah.
top tier, absolutely. Like this is you want this in everything. It does so many things that you're looking for. You don't have a lot of token removal in Bayou. She can do that. She can move your models. She can hand out burning actually to your own models, and you don't have a whole lot of other options to do that. And leapfrog is just nutty.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Ed, how do you do you have any squish based facts or squash based facts?
Facts, no. Feelings, yes. Like,
Ooh.
I look at her, I see how good she is, and then I just go back to Haku wrecking me and her doing nothing. So,
That's what we call the Haku spoiler. I don't know if that's necessarily a problem with Squish and Squash, and maybe a problem with Haku, who, as I previously mentioned, is a robot sent from the future to win Malifaux.
absolutely.
Yeah. Sam, what do you think about Miss whatever her name is? We don't know because Squish and Squash are the frogs.
So my thought on this model is I was talking to Jesse about it at Captain Con, and I was like trying to kind of sell him a little, and I was like, she does quite a lot for costing 7 stones. And I was like, oh, maybe she's 6 stones, and then I looked and she's 5 stones. This model's fucking bananas. Sorry, you're gonna have to curse that, I guess, but she's insane. Like,
I'm not. I don't even care.
No
anymore.
one's
We're
mentioned
not
like
fucking making money.
She's.
Do what you want.
I play her in kin. I don't think I would. I have not out of keyword hired her yet, and I don't think I'm gonna do. I would really do that very often.
No, there is one hardcore use case for it, but
Yeah, there's one
please
niche
continue.
use, and I know exactly.
I buy
we'll
it.
talk
But
about it.
I mean, yeah, she has healing. She has token removal. The fact that she can build all of her various different pieces of utility tech, she just builds in with ramming speed. The fact that she can charge friendlies which is very unusual. When you play her in kin, it's very easy to give her an adaptable token, which means you can basically always get the really good mass trigger on a leapfrog. She's just really good. I would never build a kin crew that doesn't have her in it.
Yeah, fair enough. The one niche instance is that you can charge Ulix. If you play Ulix, you can charge Ulix with her, and then basically multiple times in a single activation pulse out to irresistible damage and burning to models, which is kind of nonsense after you leapfrog him into place, which is like an insane amount of.
Well, in the beta, you'd hire her because you can kill friendly models with her, so you'd kill your own effigy, and then you would create remains that would make all your pigs grow up.
Wow.
Also worth mentioning in Ulix, the fire one. Sorry, I forgot the technical name.
Pork belly protector. Oh no, it's not
the-
pork belly protector. Sorry, that's
No, it is.
No, it is.
It's pork belly protector. Yeah. In pork belly protector, you have no other way of adding burning to your own models. You can use her to put burning on your piglet, and if your piglet's next to the sow, when the sow activated, it automatically upgrades it to a other one.
Wow.
Yeah, and she's the only model that has utility to do that with burning. So
yeah. So Squish and Squash, quite a lady, or quite not a lady, because that's the frogs, but you know what I mean. So damage wise, I don't think that she's doing crazy amounts of damage. Are we plus? We're not plus flipping her for that, yeah.
No.
But certainly plus flip for utility and maybe even scheming.
Yeah,
I don't know about scheming specifically, but like double plus for utility.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I mean, I don't know, Leapfrog seems kind of good, but no, that's fine. Yeah, she doesn't really scheme in and of it.
No, she just moves dudes around, removes their tokens, heals them. It's all utility stuff.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. That's how we'll leave it then. Last two real quick, we got Stumpy. This gremlin on a tree has for 8 stones and 6 defensive, 5 willpower. Drawn to life. So when a friendly model heals, you can just place in base contact with it. Planted roots, so you can drain a stone to just ignore an enemy effect that would move you. And Warning Growl, which, goddamn fucking Warning Growl, holy shit. Attacks targeting friendly models within 2 do not deal additional damage due to raises. You know what? That's really good against fucking Marcus. Okay, it's fine. Everything's fine. I'm not mad. She has a 3 damage melee. Holy crap, that's the best. So Axe is a 2-inch 3 damage melee with Timber and Delay for triggers. She has Toss in the Mud, which again is very useful for removing conditions because it can target friendly models. You can also hit enemies with it, and it's the signature action. And then Tenacity, discard a card to heal 2. What's not to like? Ed, what do you think? Are you hiring Stumpy?
I am. I
Ooh.
I do like Stumpy. It is 8 stones, but it's just a Swiss Army knife. Like it can deal out damage. It protects your other models. It's got token removal, which some of those tokens are real nasty.
Mhm.
So I don't think it's every list, but I feel good when I hire it.
Yeah. I mean, I felt bad when Anne-Marie hired it against me the other day. So yeah, I get it. Sam, what do you think? Are you stumping?
Yeah, I mean, I like Stumpy. I think again, 8 stones is a lot, but like this model is also reasonably tough. It's weird. Drawn to Life is weird because you're not going to have too much healing, but you can also just hire Squish and Squash. I also really like I said this when we were talking about Toast. You don't have ramming speed here, but you can charge a friendly model with Toss in the Mud. And then because you're charging a friendly, you can just cheat in your nice little 6 of crows and get your free rampage. So you're moving that's like a nice 11-inch move for a single bonus action, or it's not technically a single bonus action. It's it's because you need the charge, but you can then Toss in the Mud as a bonus action targeting another friendly and scoot yourself more if you have more crows. So basically, it's a model that I think has a good amount of mobility, like a surprising amount of mobility. And Warning Growl is just great, like really, really strong.
Yeah, tell us about Warning Growl, Anne-Marie. Has it served you well in any recent game?
Yeah, it's real good. And so Warning Growl's good, and then also worth mentioning too, Planted Roots is real helpful. Like making somebody burn a stone to move you, especially if you're in Informants where you have to stand by things, it's just almost overpowered in that strat.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I might have misspoke earlier, or maybe not misspoke, but wasn't super clear about that. Anytime an enemy model would move you, they have to stone, or that move it just is flat ignored. It's way better than what I was suggesting. And I still got to get it in my head that Planted Roots doesn't work that way anymore, because that is like the alpha version of this ability. It's real strong.
That's true. I will say that on balance, I actually still prefer Laugh Off, because even though it's taxing your resources rather than your opponents, with Laugh Off, if you really don't want to move, you don't. And in this one, if your opponent really needs to move you, they do.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know. Malifaux Fourth Edition is a game of resources, so I want to tax my opponents more. But yeah, so Stumpy does the damage. Yeah, min 3. Are we?
I don't think you're hiring her as a beater though. Like, she can do damage, but that's not what you're hiring her.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I tried. What about and obviously we're not scheming here, but I think utility in spades at least.
Yeah, utility is fine.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Wow. And then last of the jockeys, we have Toast. This is a 6 cost Boyo that has 5 defense and willpower. We have ramming speed again, and another unique ability called You Take the Wheel. Once per turn after this model walks, it can discard a card to interact, ignoring engagement. The interact action can target a marker with enemies in base contact with it. So you can rip their schemes that they're protecting, or you can interact targeting a strat that somebody's guarding, which is pretty good. It has a melee. Technically, it does 2 damage, 3 on the charge. It has a gun flamethrower, which does 2 damage and then pulses out a burning token, and almost pulses out. It is a pulse, but it's not. And then all-terrain turtle, its signature action is move forward, ignoring models in terrain. If you move through models this way, they have to take a TN 12 defense duel or be dealt 1 damage. Ed, tell me, Toast? Or is it just for breakfast? Yeah?
Yeah, I am. Like, You Take the Wheel definitely has been helpful with scoring me points. Points and prizes.
Yeah, no, that's a Mariah Carey song. Oh, no, sorry. I'm thinking Jesus Take the Wheel, and also it's not Mariah Carey. Please continue.
Plus a signature action that moves. Like, I'll take him.
Toast is solid. I mean, 6 stones, you have a bunch of utility. Good for schemins, for sure.
Ooh.
I mean, the interact ignoring everything with just, like, burning a card, pretty helpful.
Yeah, I agree. And getting a free on the walk is just really nice. Well, pseudo free, right? So I think for sure we're definitely not giving this guy a plus flip in damage, but scheming, definitely he's getting a plus flip. That's kind of the vibe.
Yeah, that's what he does. I don't think he really has a lot of utility outside of scheming, but yeah, I mean, he has ramming speed is pretty sweet, but his melee attack has kind of only 1 trigger that's not super impressive. It gets you a little bit of extra movement if you want.
Yeah, which is important because he's speed 5.
Yeah, it's a stat 7 when you charge. So, but it's a short range charge. You need to be within 6 inches of someone. I think usually you're just going to be like, You Take the Wheel.
Yeah. Yeah, well, what are you going to do? You could do worse for 6 stones. That concludes the video. Bye, everyone. No, just kidding. That's just jockeys. Okay, so let's hop back into the rest of the Bayou Versatiles. Obviously, it's worth noting that these are mostly ratings for out of keyword, right? In keyword, I think it's very likely that you might want to hire these for a bunch of reasons, but we'll talk a little bit about that later.
Unless you're the bunny. The bunny, never hire the bunny.
Don't hire the bunny. Oh no, poor bunny. Okay. Well, let's talk about the best Bayou Versatile that's been probably the Bayou Versatile for the actual least time out of any Bayou Versatiles, and that is correct, Bashe. So Bashe is a 10-stone alligator person from the deep, frigid swamplands. 4 defense, 6 willpower. Only 5 speed, which is kind of sad, but he has Juggernaut and Terrifying, which is pretty good. And Starve for Warmth. So if an enemy within 4 would gain slow, and they can't because they already have slow, they take 1 damage. His Ravenous Bite is a 2-inch melee that's 4 damage with pretty good triggers, and his signature action, Eternal Hunger, is once per activation, target a marker. If it remains, you build in a ram automatically. Move 6 towards the target. If you end in base contact with the target, remove it. The ram it can build in for free is Tear Off a Bite, and then he can also pulse out a duel for slow. He can reposition, and he can make a ski marker by puking it up. Gross. Sam, are you hiring Bashe as a versatile ever?
10 is so many stones, and
But
we have
4 is so many damage.
Yeah, but 4 is so little defense. Look, I think Bashe is still continuing the streak of being like absolutely bananas cracked in December and being just fine in Bayou. I think that, as I play more different Bayou crews, I might come around to saying like Bayou is, that Bashe is good. But as it stands, he makes 2 attacks per activation, maximum, and those attacks deal 4 damage each, maximum, pending raises, right? So you don't have Onslaught, you don't have Crit Strike, you don't have stuff like severe injury. I'm just like 10 stones is a lot of stones for a model that really just kills. Wow. And it also like is gonna die surprisingly quickly if your opponent has 3 damage attacks, because 4 is a very small number of death.
That's true, but you do have to hit him 5 times to kill him with
You do.
attacks.
You do have to hit him 5 times. It's true. Or just hit him with
and they'll all be in an egg flip. All right. Well, Emissary, talk to us about Bashe.
Bashe, he has a special place in my heart. But the more that I play other models in Bayou, just that I agree with Sam. 10 stones is rough to put him in. He's great if you need a big tank to get up front and soak up damage. Like, it depends if you're playing something that like really just wants to sit in the back line, like Kin. But 10 stones is.
It's like, what are you cutting out of a Kin list to get him in? Is my question.
I would only play him with Ophelia, the schemer, not Ophelia, the slaughterer.
Yeah, and so we'll talk about it when we get there. But so that means if that was true, that would mean I would never play him, basically.
Okay, rude. Red Cage Raider, I think. Okay, well, fair. Ed, talk to us about.
The Red Cage Raider is the killing one.
That's the slaughter, yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Overloaded is
Overloaded is the one that you don't play.
Right.
So
right.
I feel guilty now because I think everyone here is a better player than me, but I love him. I also play a whole lot of Overloaded.
Amazing.
But
okay.
So hear me out. Like I hear he only has 2 attacks, 4 damage, check. But that's intimidating, and a lot of people realize they're not going to kill him easily because of Juggernaut. So there were a lot of games that I've played where people are just like, well, I have to avoid him. Like, he's not worth dealing with. And that creates space on the board. Like, it enabled me to score points or to control an area. So while Bashe himself didn't do much, the intimidation factor led to me, winning games. So, I don't know. I'm kind of a fan.
And he's also helpful with the token removal. He's got that movement and the token removal as the signature.
Marker removal.
Marker removal, yeah.
Yeah,
you could just eat under the bed markers.
If you want to hire Reversal to remove markers, you could save 2 stones and hire the guy who does all the markers within 12 inches, basically, in a straight line. Like,
Yeah, fair. Okay, so from a melee perspective, there's no doubt he's 4 damage. He's a melee
he's a beater.
oriented guy. He's definitely getting a plus weapon beating. We're gonna give him an egg flip and scheming, although he does get to vomit up that one marker. I just don't think it's enough because it's once per activation. And like utility, there really isn't any. I guess the utility of causing your opponent to be like, oh shit, for sure. But can I just say, it's not like you gotta embrace 10 stone models, you know. I've never hired a 10 stone model that I've regretted in this edition a single time. Granted, the only 10 stone model I hire is the Sisters, so you know it's hard to tell. Let's talk about another Bayou Gator though. Let's talk about another Bayou Gator. This guy's 3 cost. He has Don't Turn Your Back in Stealth, which is an amazing value, and he can do 1 damage on his melee. Ed, are you hiring Bayou Gators?
I have never hired a Bayou Gator.
Oh no. Anne Marie, are you hiring Bayou Gators?
I did once and I regretted it.
Oh no. Sam?
nah.
Okay, so we were just egg flipping them for everything. I mean,
Yeah.
Don't Turn Your Back but they have 3. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Cool. We'll save some time there. Let's talk Bayou Gremlins real quick. This is a 2-stone model. It has 1 health because it's a peon. It's peon 7. And it has Demise, draw a card. Then, if it was not killed by an ally, discard a card. And they're unimpeded. So their 7 speed can get them anywhere you want with their 4 defense and health. They have Beatdown, which is a bad melee, and Firing Line, which is a bad range. You know, they cost 2 stones. What's not to love? Are you ever hiring these models outside of anything? I don't know, Sam, Ed, Amory?
If you play Big Hat, you hire them, and if you aren't, you don't.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Cool. All right. Well, I guess we'll save time with that one too. Let's talk Bayou Smuggler. Deck flips out all around. I mean, they do draw cards. I will say that, kind of, but that's fine. Bayou Smuggler is a 5-stone minion, 5 defense, 4 health. They have threatening demeanor, so 1 less damage once per activation, and drag behind, which works kind of like it used to. Before you move, you remove a marker within 2, and after resolving the move, you make a marker of the same type into base contact with this model. Note of the same type, but you're making it, so I believe that means that it is controlled by you as opposed to your opponent if it was one of theirs before. I don't know, someone sanity check me on that? I think that's how that
Yes, I think that's how that works.
They have a 2-inch ranged melee, but it's not good. They know the land, which can give out hastened, which is kind of cool. And then Earth's Bounty, which lets you choose a remains or ski marker in line of sight, move 5 towards it, and then if you end within 1 of it, it eats it. I don't know. Sam, are you ever hiring Bayou Smugglers?
I don't think so. I mean, they do have a bunch of like interesting text on their card, but they're also 5/4 models that die reasonably quickly because all their abilities are relatively short ranged.
Yeah.
I think that they have like an interesting version of Creep Along that has a very high TN. They are a source of hastened, but I've also just never felt too slow in this faction. So
yeah.
I don't know. I want to see it, but I don't see it.
Yeah. Anne Marie, have you ever smuggled the Bayou?
I have actually. I feel like the only time I've ever hired one is actually into Sui. Just because, and this is a whole lot of problems with that keyword itself. The ability to move a remains marker within range of your models to make a bigger pig has some value, and that's the only niche I've ever thought about using it.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Ed, what do you think about Bayou Smugglers?
I've really been trying to make them do something neat, and I'm just not finding it.
Are you telling me that you don't want your own under the bed marker when you're playing against Dreamer?
I mean, I do. Or my own, pyre marker, or any of those things, inferno markers.
Yeah.
But
I definitely hear what you're going at. I feel like the answer must be some sort of crazy marker that does like some nonsense on its text that specifies friendly, so that way when you eat it and make one of your own, you get that. But I just don't know.
Right, I haven't found it.
Yeah, so obviously we're not hiring this model for damage. Neg flip there. Is this schemy? I mean, like Earth's Bounty technically moves them so that they could double interact, but I just feel like that's not really it. So like the only reason you're hiring this model is utility. I guess arguably they need a plus flip there because like drag behind Earth's Bounty and know the land are utility bits if I've ever heard of them. Yeah?
Yeah, plus for utility.
Wow. Okay, well, let's talk about this This model is Crossroad 7. It's worth noting you could theoretically hire a whole crew of Crossroad 7. We're not going to talk about that in this faction. We're going to talk about it in either blue or orange yet. I haven't decided. Although I scheduled blue to record, so maybe we'll talk about him in blue. But for now, we'll talk Gluttony. He's cost 7, 5 defensive willpower. He has Resilient and Hunger Pains. Hunger Pains is enemy models within 6 have to discard a card and be dealt 1 damage to declare the interact action. So, like, I don't know, put him near the center of the board for leave your mark. That seems good. He has a melee attack called Bite the Hand, which heals him equal to the damage he's dealt, which has an interesting trigger that makes it 5 damage, but only if you have Craven or a summon token. So, like, meh. But it has Draw Out Secrets and Knock Aside, which is pretty good. Maddening Drums, his like signature, that's a bad way to put this. The action he's always had, which is not a signature action, is a 10-inch spell that chooses a marker within 6 inches in line of sight of the target. You move the target in a straight line towards it, then eat the marker, and then you deal an additional damage over the one that it just already does to a maximum of +3 for each marker it moved through. But importantly, you can spend a stone to give out Craven. And then Consume Sin, which lets you remove a token from the target, and for every raise this receives, you get to remove extra ones, and then you heal 2 for each token removed. It's only usable on friendly models, though, but it's a low TN, so... I don't know. Gluttony is a model, that's for sure. Anne-Marie, have you hired Gluttony yet?
I haven't, but I've read through the card. I think this one's really strategy dependent. Good in plant, good in recover evidence. You know, making it so your enemies around or your opponent can't interact. Real helpful. Got some healing on it. I mean, it's a valid model.
I don't know about recover. I think this is a boundary dispute model, especially like. So this is a model I would hire alongside Uncle Bog in Angler, because Hunger Pain stacks the chatty, and it's just like you get these two near each other, and it's just like the do not go there zone. And then if you can manipulate the markers and boundaries so that they're both in the horrible bubble, your opponent's just gonna have like the worst day in the world. Like if they want to move one of the markers, they're gonna pitch 2 cards and take 1 damage to interact once. I will say though that outside of that specific combo, I probably would only want to hire Gluttony if I felt like I was going to get value out of Consume Sin, because otherwise, if your opponent is not trying to put tokens on you, that's a very corner case a signature action, and not having a signature action on a 7-stone model is like really rough.
Yeah, that is a valid point. Ed, do you have any Gluttony thoughts?
Yeah, just in the games that he's good in, like I feel like he's really good. He fills a slot, which I think versatile should do. But I don't see him used very often. Yeah, fair enough. Well, in terms of damage, I mean, I don't think we quite make it to plus flip zone. Maybe Maddening Drums does 4 once in a while, but that's not really where we're at. Scheming wise, like it's certainly within the context of anti-scheming. I think that's his vibe.
Yeah, he's a schemer.
I think we put a plus flip there, and certainly utility with the Maddening Drums, marker removal, and token removal on Consume Sin. I think we have to give him a plus flip in utility, because that's like kind of the.
I would give him like a little plus flip in utility.
A little plus flip, not even a big, not even a normal size plus flip.
No, not even a normal size one.
Wow.
The reason I say he gets like a little plus flip is that, it's just the utility is kind of narrow. It's like mostly schemy utility.
No, yeah. Well, no, it's also. Remove any number of markers from your models,
remove certain configurations of enemy markers and tokens, but a lot of the time the enemy markers that you're removing are just scheme markers.
Yeah,
there are a lot of crews that don't make markers.
The token removal, I think, is more what I meant, but yeah, maybe I don't know, maybe I'll feel like I want to scale
if I want to hire a token removing model, I will just hire Squish and Squash, which just do it better.
For 2 stones less.
For 2 stones less. And that no TN.
All right. Well, look, hire Gluttony or don't. Look, man, I'm not your dad. Except for, a few people out there. I have a secret family and I'm actually straight. It's fine. Okay, Gupps. You can't technically hire Gupps, but I'll talk about them briefly. They when they end their activation near an enemy remains marker, they can replace with Silurids, and they have stealth. They have a bad melee attack, although it has a raise value of 3, and they have a weird tactical pulse that gives out adversary and can move spawn mothers. Gupps. Okay, let's move on.
The best rule on their card is the fact that they can't be hired, so you can't accidentally hire one.
Amazing. Yeah, cool. Neg flips, we did it. Yeah, and to be fair, neg flip on the hiring because you can't. So let's talk the Lucky Fate. So specifically more within the context, like we'll call this out as we're talking over the cruise, specifically like when it's really good. But Lucky Fate is a 2-cost model, is 4 defense and willpower, as insignificant, so it's ignored for schemes and strategies, but it has quick study, so it gains the keywords of the friendly master, or leader rather, which means that it can use the stuff on the crew card, and it is a unique model. Its attack that lets it grow into the emissary is called Terrible Luck. If you get a raise, you get to make a scheme marker, and its like tactical action gives out an impact token, which is pretty good, I think. I mean, Ed, are you ever hiring the 2-cost?
Very often, because
Very
it's
often.
a 2-cost unique to use crew card abilities.
Yeah, fair enough. Sam, have you found yourself Lucky Fating much?
Yeah, I think Lucky
in
Fate
the
might
Effigy
be.
world?
It's definitely in the better half of effigies. It might be the best effigy. Like,
Wow.
it's just really good. Like the effigy. One thing I want to note is that the effigies turning into emissaries is kind of like a cute meme thing a lot of the time, because a lot of the emissaries are A, bad, and B, it's really hard to pull off. But this emissary is one where it's the perfect balance between, it's actually a good emissary, like you're really happy when you have it, but it's also very like specific and narrow, so you don't always want to hire it, and you often don't need it until later in the game. So this is one where turning into the emissary is like actively my plan.
Wow.
But you also don't feel bad if you don't do it, because impact tokens are really good.
Impact tokens are pretty strong. Emery, do you effigy much?
I do. I have a lot. This one's really keyword. There are some keywords where it's almost an auto hire. Like you have to put it into your list.
Yeah.
And then
make
some
sure to
keywords
mention
where it's
those.
still good. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. So like obviously like this guy's not doing damage, so neg flip there. He's not really scheming because he literally can't neg flip there. Utility wise, like yeah, impact tokens are good, probably plus flip, but
Also,
really like
really you're
growing
hiring
into
him
the
for
emissary
and crew card. You're just hiring
and the
him.
crew card.
You can't
Yeah,
separate that.
Yeah, which is utility. That's the vibe.
I mean,
So
I think it's this guy or like maybe the Outcast one.
the
It's
Bayou
best-
Gate.
the best effigy.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were going in a different direction with that. Hiring Bayou Gators. Okay. So Lucky Fate Emissary, on the other hand, costs 8 stones. He's 5 all across the board except for speed, where he's 7, and size, where he's 3. He has the quick study thing. He loses insignificant, which is important. He has the same thing that all the emissaries have, Tempting Fate. You can save a master for 2 stones when it would die. And his special, like aura-ish ability is once per activation, friendly models within 2 can cheat fate from the top of their fate deck. Unrestricted, like with Bayou 2 card, so it's just like real good. And he, fun fact, is always a friendly model within 2 of himself. We have Roadkill, which is his melee attack, which is only 2 damage, which I'm kind of sad about. I feel like the emissaries should be 3, but he can eat a non-ski marker within 1 inch to receive a plus flip, and it has some good triggers. Steamroller is the sort of utility action we were mentioning earlier, which is once per activation only, but it's TN6. You move this model 12 inches in a straight line, ignoring models and vertical distance, and any markers you move through this way are removed, with a trigger to make a ski marker and a trigger to pulse out a duel for anyone you moved over. Anne-Marie, have you just flat out hired the emissary ever? Or sorry, pig wheels,
Pig wheel!
which keep on turning. Yeah, down through the riverside or whatever. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I love the pig wheel. I've definitely hired the pig wheel. I like this model for sure. It does a lot of good things.
Yeah, as Ed would say.
And you know, in certain non-necessarily 50 soul stone games, he's kind of busted.
Yeah. In that, wait, why? What? What do you mean?
Oh, yeah. What's that other like one that you play, the drinking game one?
I'm sorry, what? Oh, are you talking Bonanza Brawl or Bayou Bashe?
Yeah.
No, Bonanza Brawl. Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, I understand what you're talking about. He's really good in the auxiliary convention games, which if you've never made it to a convention, you should. Like, for instance, Adepticon. We'll talk about that later. Ed, what do you think? Are you pig wheeling?
I have never hired pig wheel,
Have you grown into it?
but I've grown into it on many occasions.
Okay. Do you have
I've
any
hired
pig
it.
wheel based? Yeah.
Sometimes you can't risk not getting the grow and you need the pig wheel. I've hired it. Like,
Yeah.
it's good. It's really good on plant. Like, really insane on plant.
Yeah. I mean, at its worst, like, its tactical action does just say move 12. You know.
Yeah, that's kind of my point.
And
Yeah,
then
this
walk
model's
7
good.
more, and then interact. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's
so-
some pools where it just like guarantees you 2 victory points turn 1, where you could just like get to the center line, drop a ski marker without even trying to do something, and drop a bomb. Like, I mean, there are some times where it just makes sense.
Yeah. Steamroller being its signature is really, really, really good.
Yeah. So okay. Again, we're not hiring this, so neck flip damage, but like scheming and utility. Yeah.
I'd say scheming.
Yeah.
I don't know about utility. It doesn't really do anything other than scheme. I guess
Well,
you
he
have
has,
markers.
I mean,
You
he
got
has the
marker
crew
removal.
card. He has the crew card. That's
Yeah, he has
like
the crew card.
kinda
Okay, I'll give it
50% of the
that.
thing we're doing.
I'll give
So
it
we'll give him a plus flip in scheming and utility. Yeah, moving 12 as a signature action is kind of nuts. I mean, it's in a straight line, but my god,
Here's the thing. It's not up to 12.
it's not. Yeah, importantly. So if you can figure out a way where you would come into contact with impassable, you stop because it's in a straight line. But outside of that, you're moving the whole 12. And he's not the weird part about it though is that he doesn't ignore terrain while he's moving. He just ignores vertical distance, which means forests are going to slow you by half. It's weird. Sometimes it's weird. All right, let's move on. Your friend and mine, Mickey T. Mickey T is an 8-stone guy. He's got 5 willpower and 5 defense. And I'm walking here. I'm New York now. Shout out to Jeff. That's what he sounds like. It's great. Maybe cut this. That might be too much. That's kind of mean. Okay. He has a demise ability called Death Roll, where when he's killed, he can pitch a card to heal 2 and make a remains marker and base contact with himself. He's on the move, so when he activates, he can move up to 3 inches, ignoring other models. But Swamp Screen's the interesting one. Remains within 6, including the one he drops if he accidentally dies a little bit. Gain the concealing trait, so friendly models can just choose to be unaffected. Savage Bite is his melee attack. It's only stat 5, which is kind of sad, but it does 3 damage, and it has a stone trigger to basically execute, except it executes you and then summons a Bayou Gator. His gun is 3 damage at 14-inch range, which is stat 6 with good triggers. And his signature Gator Scramble targets a marker in his line of sight, and you move 2 inches toward the marker. And it again has decent triggers to take a melee, even to take a ranged attack, even if engaged, make a remains marker, which are concealing near him, or pulls out stunned. Interactively pulls out stun. Sam, have you played much Mickey T?
Yeah, McTavish is nuts this edition. He's real good.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a beater. I just think, I'd give him a plus on beater and minus on the other 2. Because what little utility he has is pretty marginal, but he's such a good beater. Like, sure. Oh my god. And yeah, he's just really, 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 really good. I will say I have a grudge against him because I charged a Cooper 2, and my opponent was hellbent, and I had 3 cards in my hand, and I was like, and he had no stones either. So I was like, all I need to do is connect with you once, and you die, and I get a Gator. And instead, he just natty flipped like Severes off the top of his deck twice in a row, even though it was empowering.
Hellbent for the non-magic players means had no cards in hand.
Yeah, he had no cards and no stones, and I was like, I have 3 cards in my hand. I can empower these attacks. All I had to do is touch him once, and I couldn't do it. I felt real sad. But I still won that game.
Amazing. Well, I guess he just wasn't here for the kill that day. Emery, any McTavish thoughts?
I like McTavish for sure. Definitely plus on beater, incidental on scheming, so probably negative flip on that one. He's got some utility, especially keyword dependent. The whole remains markers, you can do some good things with those depending on what keyword you're playing.
That's like a Ulix thing. None of the other.
He needs enemy remains markers though.
No, not for the first one.
Oh yeah, does he? Okay, maybe not.
Yeah, the pigs don't need it. They only need it for the second one because of the grow. And then can also. You get the adaptable built in if you're using it to put an upgrade on him.
You can't. He's not keyword.
He is not.
But when he drops the remains marker gives.
Yeah, you can do that. So that's true, but I mean that's marginal. That is very, very marginal, I think.
Yeah, I said like niche utility.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right. Well, I think that's fair. So we can neg flip him on the other 2. Ed, do you have any McTavish thoughts to add?
No. I mean, on the move has situationally scored me points just because people forget that he's going to move, say, out of engagement and drop a scheme marker.
Yeah. I think there's always room for things that people forget because people forget them. Like that one Zoraida ability that no one's ever used. Let's talk Pigapult, though. Pigapult is an 8-stone versatile. He has 11 health. He has Aegis, Ruthless, and replacement parts. So during the end phase, you can pitch a card to heal 2. 5 health and defense. Pigapult's range attack is a 2 damage range attack, although you can select another friendly non-unique model within 2 inches when you declare this action. If you do, it's a 3 damage attack, and then you place the selected model in base contact with the target, and they take a damage and also has crit strike. He also has a tactical action called Heave Ho, which lets you eat a marker within 3 to make a copy of the marker. But this case, unlike with the Bayou Smuggler, it's controlled by the same player within range. And maybe draw a card, and then here Piggy. Ooh, excuse me. And then here Piggy Piggy is a signature action, which lets you target a friendly size 1 or 2 model, which is not the size 4 Pigapult, and place it into base contact with this model. I guess you can't place in base contact with yourself, so that wouldn't matter anyway. And then also you can heal the target, but yeah. Ed, what do you think? Pigapult? Are you Pulton?
I use him on occasion. Like, he's not my first reach.
Yeah, I've never actually seen this model. No one has ever hired it against me. Wow. Anne-Marie, have you ever pulted a pig?
I don't personally pult the pigs.
Okay.
But I have been terrorized by pigs being thrown at me. I think real good in Wizz-Bang, which also carries that keyword, worth hiring into that. Probably not into anything else.
Wow. Sam, do you agree?
Yeah, I would say like in Wizz-Bang, this model is actually like absolutely insane, because you just hurl a swine curse at somebody and you're like, I do 3 damage, maybe 4 damage with this shot, and then it immediately triggers the swine curse to attack you with the who hit me ability on its front of card. So I'm spending 1 AP to do 3 or 4 damage to you, and then have the swine curse hit you for another 2 or 3 damage before we talk about raises. And then if we're close enough, I just yank it back with here Piggy Piggy, and I guess you can't do it again with the same swine curse, but you can sure do it with your other one. This model does like really, really good amounts of damage if you have swine cursed. If you don't, it's like, eh. Although I do see there's some appeal to like flinging like Ophelia into somebody and then being like, surprise, you dead.
Yeah, I do like the idea of Pigapulting masters. That's really funny. But
it's not unique. That's right. Never mind.
But it's not unique.
Yeah, no, this model was bang only.
Yeah,
it's,
but why can't you do it to the other swine curse? You can do it to the same swine curse multiple times.
No, because who hit me is once per activation.
Oh, who hit me is only once per activation. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, well, Rain of Pork nonetheless. Hilarious name. This is the point of this model is damage. I guess the point of this model, so plus flip. I mean, 3 or 4 damage on a shot's not bad.
On a ruthless shot too.
On a ruthless 12-inch shot.
You can hire this like this is actually, you know when I would hire this out of keyword is if I'm playing it to woe.
Sure. Yeah. Which is really funny considering like the first edition context of this model used to be willpower.
Yeah, this model used to be what you did to kill Pandora with.
The only model you could kill Pandora with.
In this faction, yeah. And now it's back to that.
That's really funny. I think we're probably looking at an egg flip for scheming because it fucking can't. I mean, I guess it can, but
no. I can't really.
No. And then so are we?
Actually, that's not true. You can use Heave Ho to fling scheme markers.
Sure.
You know what? That actually, to me, that actually makes it a plus twist because you can do stuff like spend 2 5s out of your hand to just drop 2 scheme markers anywhere within 12 inches of the Pigapult. That's a really long range.
And remove your enemy scheme markers.
Well, it has to be controlled by the same player. So if you're dropping your own scheme markers, you have to have your own dropped in advance. But
that's true. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of, I guess that's fair. Yeah. So yes. So scheming. Okay. Plus one scheming. Sometimes. And then like, I don't know. Are we also hiring this model for utility? Like,
nah, because it's only non-unique models. Every model I want to fling is unique.
Sure, yeah. I'm. It's weird to me that the go-to isn't immediately somber because Bayou Gremlins, if you kill when you rain a pork, they'll die, and then you just get to draw a card and not have to pitch one. But, yeah, all right, fair.
You could fling hats too. If you fling a hat, you get a scheme.
Yeah. Yep, that's true. And that seems fine. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Let's talk a slightly less catapulty and slightly more lizardy boy in the Silurid. He costs 6 and is 5 and 4. He's got butterfly jump like he used to. 9 health this time though, which is pretty good. A sharp claws melee attack that's bad. Plaintive cry, which is kind of what it used to do, except it gives out adversary now. And evading leap, which is leap but on a 7. Still is a signature action though, but it lets you not attack if you do that, which doesn't matter because you're not attacking anyway. Emery, do you ever hire Silurids?
I do. I think he is a real good schemer to drop into a list if you are really needing that.
Yeah.
That's kind of the only time I would ever use. You're not going to attack with this, and he
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
really
I mean-
have a whole lot of utility.
Yeah, we're definitely neg flip utility, neg flip melee, and definitely putting him in schemer plus flip territory. But do you have the cute one or do you have the normal ones?
I have a really old metal model that's missing an arm.
Oh, there's a Puppet Wars on Stitch model for the Silurid. He's in a little pot. He's very adorable. He's a puppet. I'll see if I have one. Maybe I can kick it around. Ed, do you Silurid? Do you have any Silurid thoughts?
Yeah, I actually really like them for 6 points. They do answer a lot of scheming holes. I actually take 2 with Somer. So
Oh, okay. Sam, have you Silurided yet, or do you think
I
that
haven't
Silurid
hired them
thoughts
yet, 'cause
are
I don't-
similar to shower thoughts?
Yeah, I don't play the kind of crew that wants them, but I think they are good. I think that I like that. I think they're evading leap. Setting aside the TN, just looking at the ability text, it's just a flat out upgrade on leap because it's leap, but it also prevents you from accidentally screwing up by making a melee attack later on. But they are, yeah, I mean, they're good. They leap. Butterfly jump, I just want to also briefly say butterfly jump is really good defensive tech when you have 8 health because it means you're likely to actually benefit from it.
Yeah, unlike before where they weren't, because you'd still just kill them anyway. Love it. Yeah, cool. Silurids. I don't know. Redact the next card. Spawn Mother. This is legally speaking, this is a Malifaux card. It costs 8 stones. It has 5s for defense and willpower. It has 3 weird abilities. I'll say them. When an enemy model within 6 kills a Gupps or Silurid, you can drain a stone to deal 2 damage to the enemy model. When it dies, you summon 2 Gupps in base contact, and then it eats its young. So when this model activates, it may kill a friendly Gupps or Silurid within 6. If it does so, this model heals 4. That being said, it doesn't do damage because it's no enemy. It's lame. It has a 6 stat willpower attack that does 2 damage or 2 damage, but it does 2 damage for each raise, but that's like kind of irrelevant. Lord to the Brood is its signature attack, which move the target at speed towards a friendly model in its line of sight, which is probably going to be the Spawn Mother, maybe it's other things. And a trigger to do some damage on it. It doesn't do damage on itself, and then it can hatch eggs for tactical. Targeting an enemy marker, you can't target the same type of marker more than once per activation. You summon a Gupps, and then remove the target with a stone to summon an extra Gupps, and a stone trigger to summon an extra Gupps, and another trigger to place in base contact with the summoned Gupps. Ed, Spawn Mother.
never hire.
Sam, Spawn Mother.
I don't even care enough about this model to like say something funny and insulting about it.
Amazing. Emissary, Spawn Mother.
It has so many fancy words that it seems like it should do stuff, but it just doesn't. And for 8 stones, hard pass.
Maybe next edition, bud. Neg flips all around.
Look at this
Let's
model
go.
compared to Delirium. Just do that.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, Delirium. Well, Delirium costs 9, Sam. It's completely different.
Okay, so yeah, look at that comparison. Just look at what you're summoning. Look at what what it costs you to summon that, and then just be like, Jesus, man.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's talk about stuffed piglets. These are models. They cost 2. They're peons. They're peon 6 though, unlike Bayou Gremlins, which are peon 7. And they are 3/3 speed 7. They have demise volatile pig. When they're killed, they pulse out 1 damage and injured. Like when, for instance, they die from a what do you call it there? A Pigapult. Yeah, they have a bad melee and they have a TN7 tactical action to kill themselves. Anne-Marie, what do you think? Have you ever hired stuffed piglets?
The only time you would do it is with a Pigapult, but I'd never take them without one.
Wow. Ed, have you ever hired stuffed piglets?
I have not.
Sam, have you ever hired stuffed piglets?
No, why would you hire them? If you're not playing a crew that summons them, then you don't want them.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, there's only one crew that summons them. So neg flips all around, I guess. But there's only one crew that summons them, and that's crews that include the Taxidermist.
Yeah.
So Taxidermist is a 7-stone versatile model, and the final versatile model we'll talk about is a minion too. He's got 5 defense, 6 willpower. He has pet project, so after deployment, you get to summon a stuffed piglet within 3 inches, and then he has resilient, 9 health. So he has a melee attack called Flensing Knife, which 6 against defense, 2 damage. If you kill a target, you just get to summon a stuffed piglet within 2. And it's crit strike, get in there, remote detonation, and maim. It has a really, really strong tactical action called Healing Energy. Spend a stone. Heals the target for 2 + 2 for every raise, so you get 2 for 4, and then you get it on 9, 13, and for the red joker you get one more free. And then taxidermin, the verb to taxidermy. On a 6, you can target an enemy model, summon a stuffed piglet within 2, and then each time this model declares this action, this activation, increase the TN by 2. We'll go in reverse. Sam, taxidermist.
So I like taxidermist.
What do you think?
I will say this is not a model you will ever hire because you're like, I have a 7-stone hole in my crew. What's going to put in there? If you're hiring a taxidermist, it's because you have a plan that involves a taxidermist and probably even 2 taxidermists. But if you assuming that you are building that plan, I actually think this list is cool and interesting, and I want to see people try it. I think this is probably a Wizz-Bang list because when we talk about Wizz-Bang, we're gonna have to talk about Alphonse, and Alphonse is just really, really good.
Yeah.
This is, I don't know. It's interesting. I have a hard time rating this guy because he's not a model you just put in a crew.
Yeah. That is fair. Anne-Marie, have you dermisted any taxes?
I have not. I have not filed my taxes yet at all.
Oh.
But
get on it. It's almost February.
When he's good, but there's a lot of times that it's not worth the stones to bring him in.
Yeah.
I mean, he does have a pretty serious heal. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
He's a versatile model where you could just throw down a 9 and heal somebody for 4, which is sometimes a thing you really want to do.
Yeah, for sure. Healing energy when good is very strong. I'll say that for sure. Ed, do you have any taxidermist thoughts?
Yeah, like I said, or like was said earlier, the healing's relevant. And it is kind of funny with Wong the Enchanter, summoning the stuffed piglets halfway across the board through the flying piglets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a lot going on. I think that it would be fair to say that every single Bayou list should start with 2 taxidermists and a Pigapult for 24 stones, 2 stones, 4 stones, 2 stones, 22 stones. And then that's where you should start all lists, but maybe that's not true. But think about it this way: you could summon all 6 of them right away. All 6 of the stuffed piglets. And then if you summon 6 stuffed piglets on turn 1, don't you just win?
I mean, I know you're joking, but if you live in a world where you can abduct a model and you either flip well enough or have the cards available to summon a bunch of stuffed piglets, that puts your opponent in a crappy situation.
I don't necessarily disagree with you. It's kind of funny.
You have summoned 6 models, which all can they're peons, but they're not worthless. They do stuff, and your opponent basically has to either kill them at significant cost to itself, or let you dictate how you're going to kill them at significant cost to your opponent.
The scenario I'm imagining is that somebody walks slightly across the center line and drops a ski marker next to themselves to try and bluff frame job, and then you're like, oh yeah, and then you summon 6 stuffed piglets basically completely surrounding that model on the center line, and then your Pigapult is like, hello boys, the soda bottle is the Carnifex. Okay, that's a weird deep cut that almost no one's gonna get, but it's funny to me. So I think definitely plus flip for utility. This is an amazing healer, and it's really weird in general. You're not hiring them for damage, so neg flip there. Scheming, not really much scheming potential on these guys either, so neg flip there. Weird model. Taxidermist, that's where we're at. So we've concluded this evening's portion of, we're going to talk about each of the versatile models. We talked about every single one, and if we didn't, let us know in the comments. But let's go real quick. I said, lol, over each of the factions, each of the keywords in the faction, and talk about what they sort of do in a similar context, so you can sort of evaluate whether or not you want to hire any of the previous models we've talked about in them, as well as kind of how they do in the game grounds. We're going to go, I think, quite a bit less in detail than we have, and hopefully this will make sense. If you have any thoughts, let us know. But let's start with Brewmaster. Brewmaster 2 titles, Moonshiner and Proof Prophet, have a lot of stuff going on. The Brew No. Moonshiner, basically, as a whole crew, allows its models to, once per activation, when they take damage, move 3 inches, and if they have a poison token, move 2 inches, at the cost of nothing, unless they're ignoring magic attacks, which is the least likely thing to ignore. And the unique models in the crew get Drunken Fist, which is a 2-inch, 3 damage melee attack. It does require that you rip a poison off to work, but if you do, you get all negs as positives, and you get to place anywhere within 3, and it has like a decent trigger. The other version of Brewmaster gives the whole crew a bunch of different stuff. Instead, you have high tolerance, so when you would be dealt damage for poison, you instead heal. During the end phase, you get to choose one friendly model one model with a friendly poison token to make a ski marker within 1 inch of itself, and then its unique models get Liquid Courage, so they get to target an ally, heal it too, and give them poison and bolstered with a Drought Secrets trigger. Sam, are there any or I guess actually let's not even go Sam. Ed, you play Brewmaster probably more than anybody else.
I don't know about any more than anybody else, but
well, more than Sam and Anne-Marie.
Oh,
Although not more than me, obviously. I play the most Brewmaster.
clearly.
What is this crew doing, and are there any particular call outs for hardcore models you want to take from this crew and use elsewhere, and where does this crew stand in terms of scheming, beating, and utility? Obviously it's a token crew, so utility is kind of the vibe, but
yeah, so I played it quite a bit on the first day of Captain Con, and it just didn't really come together a whole lot. It's one of those crews where you're jumping through a lot of hoops to do the same stuff that some crews just do natively.
Mm-hmm.
So was not thrilled with how they perform on the table. In theory, they were a lot better. Shout out though to Shoujo, like that model is kind of bonkers good in the crew. Having her false claim that has a stone trigger to have an ally within 1 declare an action, been really good. But
yeah,
it's
I think
disappointment.
Yeah, false claim in general is super strong. Sam, have you brewed much Master / how do you
mostly played against it? I will say I actually think Brewmaster's in the upper half of Bayou keywords, but I think it's exclusively Proof Profit. I think that Moonshiner is just kind of not a pile of abilities that doesn't really come together. Proof Profit has one of the best crew cards in the entire game. It's just 3 like absolutely critical abilities. Like total immunity to poison, free table-wide ski marker during the end phase that's totally uninteractable, and the crew card action is just nuts. 2 positive tokens and a heal and a Drought Secrets for a bonus action on a TN5.
Yeah. Only unique models get it, but yeah.
I also think it's extremely funny that when your totem can do the thing that he used to be able to do in 2nd edition, where he just becomes a new Proof Prophet.
And
really
it's
sweet.
a replace too. It's not even a summon.
Yep. I will say this is a crew that doesn't do a ton of damage. You've got Hopscotch and Whiskey Golem, who both are damage dealers, so you can build that way. And I think the advantage there is probably hiring the Whiskey Golem and then making it bolstered, so it's just a 7/7 armored beater with 13 health and access to a bunch of healing. But for the most part, this is a crew that sort of is relying on its versatiles and its named hires to do stuff, because I think all of the minions in this crew are very bad.
Yeah. Anne-Marie, have you mastered any brews yet?
I've not. I am not a master of the brews. I have played against it. I didn't find it to be incredibly oppressive on the table, but it was fun and engaging and interesting. I do want to call out, I love the model Nia. Like, almost to the point that I want to put it on the table out of keyword. She does some really cool things.
Yeah. Nia is, of course, the campaign model that we got at the end of 3rd edition, which has 2 forms that swap back and forth, and she does a lot. There's a lot of abilities on these 2 cards. I don't know. So ultimately, I guess question 1, as far as beating is concerned, I mean, we have 2 really really strong beaters in the crew. I think that in and of itself probably is indicative of plus flip in the ability to hand out damage, even if it's not the crew's primary focus. As far as scheming is concerned, like what are we?
This is a very schemy crew. I mean,
Yeah.
you got what's his face? Fingers. Fingers is very, very good.
Mhm.
He has a boat. He has a secret passage. He has chatty. He has don't mind me. Like, we know the combination of secret passage and don't mind me is really good.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, we talked about Barrelby already.
Yeah, we talked about Shoujo, who has false claim, which is very strong in
Yeah.
the scheming world, which I learned on a previous episode that doesn't say and then remove one in the end phase anymore, which is kind of crazy.
Yep, and Proof Profits card combined with, you know, all that, like, really good scheming potential.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Proof Prophet is like got really, really good actions. I think Proof Prophet is just very strong as a master generally.
Yeah. So there's a lot of scheming in this crew. At least a plus flip, maybe a double plus flip. As far as utility is concerned, I mean, they're primarily a token based crew.
Yeah,
right?
but
So
they're
putting out-
tokens that deal damage. So I don't know if I'd really say that's utility. But
Well, I mean, it kind of is. I mean, the nice thing about poison tokens too is that they don't go away once you give them out, unless you rip them off or something.
Mhm.
So they're like dealing round over round damage the earlier you get them out. But I think ultimately the crew has a buttload of movement shenanigans. I mean, it can heal as a signature action to anybody and also draw out secrets. So maybe triple plus flip on scheming, but definitely I think a plus flip in utility. There's nothing that really like utility wise that you need to hire super out of keyword. It's kind of the point. As far as GG0 strats, the order that I guess it doesn't really matter what the order. Boundary dispute, these guys do pretty well in.
yeah, I mean, this like you just can do a million interacts with this crew.
Yeah. So boundary disputes easily a plus flip. Plant easily a plus flip. As far as like durability and sticking in one place, how are we feeling on informants?
In my experience, not great on durability.
Yeah.
Like,
Not great, no. But I mean, it depends. I mean, I would say it depends on how you hire, because the fact that you can hand out bolstered at every single one of your models without any involving any soul stones or high cards can hand out healing and bolstered means you can be surprisingly durable. You have several models in this crew that are, 6/6 or 5/6, and then get a bolster to become 7/7 or 6/7.
Yeah. And this was true once upon a time, and I think it is still true. You do have a pretty good amount of anti keeping your opponent's models where they are movement tech. Like, you can scoot them around quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm inclined to say plus flip for informants, but as far as like the durability is concerned, Reckoning probably puts them in a neg flip. It's almost certainly their worst strat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Cool. Well, Brewmaster, aka Try Chi. Let's talk Ma Tucket. Man, I just remember being savaged by Ma Tucket in 3rd edition. That's fine. I'm okay. I don't need a minute or anything. So Ma Tucket has 2 forms, just like everybody else. Ma Tucket Mecha Mima has a couple of fun things on her crew card. Whenever she succeeds in an attack, any of her models in her crew, and get a raise, it gives out an analyze token, which basically says damage isn't reducible with abilities. Stolen blueprints is all of her models that are friendly that are allies can declare actions printed on the stat card of any of the models that have an analyze token within 6 inches. After resolving such an ability, or such an action, I should say, you remove the analyzed token from that enemy, and then unique models get a special ability power up. So when this model ends its activation, you can drain a stone or discard a card to get shielded and heal too, which is pretty strong. Matucket's Metal Magpie has escape vectors, which is after resolving an enemy attack that targeted this model, you can discard a card to move 4. And if you received a raise defensively, you draw a card, which is kind of neat. And the unique models get 2 different tactical actions. One is a stat 7 unresistant injured, and then the other one is a stone 1 inch unflipped action that gives, if you have an analyzed or an injured token on an enemy leader, they have to tell you their current scheme, which is kind of nonsense, but it's kind of funny. How Emery? How you've been tricksying lately? How
I have
beatery is this crew? And what fun things do you have to tell us?
I mean, what I really like about this keyword is both of the titles are very playable.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, they
I
both
haven't
seem to
been
have a good
disappointed.
spread.
Yeah, I haven't been
Yeah.
disappointed, and they have different feels to each one of them, which I feel like in some of the other keywords, I'm like, well, one is drastically better than the other, or one is just almost unplayable. Both of these are playable. They both do good damage. I mean, you're getting Arcane Reservoir with Big Brain Bryn. That's good. And then if you're playing Mecha Miwa, you can do some hurts. You just slay.
Mecha Mima does a lot of damage. I can confirm that firsthand.
Yeah, so I like both of them, and there's also some great cards in here too. Like Survivors, those are super helpful. I like being able to use Magnetism. Rooster Riders can spike a bunch of damage, and Trixie Belle is chef's kiss when it comes to moving and interacting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which really I think covers the whole gamut on damage, scheming, and interacting. Jebediah also is just natively in this keyword, and he's like super fucking strong.
Jebediah is so good.
Yeah, in everything.
Jebediah basically makes if your opponent, like if you're running with the FAQ as you should, Jebediah makes Leave Your Mark unscorable for your opponent. Because you put a hat on the center point, and they're like, oh, I'll just kill your hat, and then you're like, okay, kill the hat, make a scheme marker, base contact with the hat, discard a card with Jebediah, summon a new hat.
There we go. So I mean that covers all of the bases real quick. Are there any like really strong? I mean, do you think that Jebediah is like a hardcore out of keyword hireable model nowadays, like it used to be? Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jebediah is just really good.
Yeah, he has so many things going on his card. Maybe I'll put him up on the screen. Ed, do you have any Trixie thoughts?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Trixie Belle. Like I really like Don't Mind Me with a 4-inch range on interact.
After leaping.
And I think it's probably a good thing that she's loyalty keyed or loyal keyed.
Yeah, if she wasn't loyal, she would show up in every single Bayou list until the end of time. Model's insane.
Yeah, she's very much brown.
Like there is no Bayou list I've ever made in this edition that would not be better if it had Trixie Belle in it.
Even at 9 stones, add a keyword. Agreed.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and I think I think certainly I personally think Mecha Mima just seems a little bit stronger in terms of damage and scheming potential because Big Brain Bryn's nuts. But I think both are poised to do pretty well. So for what it's worth, damage wise, there's a crap ton of really strong effective damage, especially if you're playing Mecha Mima. So I think we're giving this crew at least a plus flip in damage, if not 2.
I mean, I think a regular Ma also does a ton of damage.
Yeah, regular Ma.
Chop.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. This crew is absolutely.
Signature.
Yeah, this crew's absolutely stuffed with damage. So we'll go at least a double plus flip. As far as scheming potential, I think there's quite a bit of it as well. Trixie Belle is insane, and also Trixie Belle brings a lot of versatility. And Jebediah makes hats that drop schemes. There's so many things. So I think we're probably easily poised to give out a single plus flip, maybe even 2 on scheming, and the same thing on versatility, utility, as it were. Now, as far as strats are concerned, are there any specific highlights or weaknesses in terms of Ma's toolkit? The interacts seem good for Boundary and Plant.
I think she's good on every strat.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, she has a lot of defensive and very durable models and a lot of crew healing, which makes Informants and Reckoning difficult. Do you think that there's one place that she particularly excels?
No, I think there's such differences between the 3 minions that you can bring in that you have enough variety to build a crew to each of these strategies.
Yeah, it is a pretty large keyword.
I mean, Twist My Arm, I'd say Plant is probably her best one. But I mean, she could do anything.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Ma Tucket, you heard it here first, folks. Fucking get this.
Still really good. Yet another edition really where she's great.
Yeah. It's not. To be fair, also, I will say it's for what it's worth. It's not the kind of good where you accidentally step an inch out of your deployment zone and then your whole crew fucking dies because they're all injured 12 and then can't fucking your red Joker on defense means a stat 2 model still hits you with a raise. So it's fine. Everything's fine. Okay. Let's talk then. The next Bayou crew, obviously, that is Ophelia. Goddamn. Okay, so Ophelia Overloaded has Sneaky Sneakin', where all of her models just get to declare 2 triggers. Her unique models have a signature that gives out adaptable that can heal once per activation for a stone. And then Ophelia Red Cage Raider, the text on her card doesn't matter because Ophelia can do 40 damage in an activation. So there's that. No. So when you would discard her upgrades, Ophelia is an upgrade crew, so she walks around handing out all these fun upgrades that do all kinds of damagey and tactical nonsense. But when she would discard one, she can instead lose impact or adaptable, although you will not. And her unique models get an ability to give out one, but you can rip an adaptable token if you want, or you can rip a remains marker within 3 to gain adaptable. And it has some decent triggers, including unnatural reflexes to do it a second time because it's only once per activation. Ophelia Red Cage Raider herself, though, is insane. She does so much damage, it's crazy. Sam, do you want to talk about the Ophelia?
Yeah, I mean, I like this crew a lot. I also, as somebody who played a lot of this crew in the beta, I think she has suffered a little from having some late changes in the beta.
I mean, did she?
Yeah, she had some very late changes in the beta.
Did she suffer?
Well, I mean, it suffered in the sense that it made the crew. I think this crew has some weird, clunky design stuff. I don't think you ever hire Overloaded ever. I can't think of a single circumstance where I'd ever declare Overloaded, because if kin is good in a keyword, Red Cage Raider is better than Overloaded. And I think the crew's hiring in the crew is very linear, because you basically always want every single named LaCroix except for Ravage and Raphael, who are sometimes hires, plus Old Cranky and Squish and Squash. I think that there's a lot of interesting stuff that you have access to, but a lot of the cool tricks in this crew are less good than just shooting someone for 15 damage with Ophelia, and then doing it and then taking your bonus action to maybe shoot them for another 6. So it is a cool crew. It has, I think there's a lot of cognitive load because of rotating upgrades on and off, but if your opponent isn't ready for it, you will just table them very quickly.
Yeah, fair. Ed, you've done a good amount of Ophelia-ing.
I have, but unlike Sam, I really like Overloaded.
Yeah. Talk to me about Overloaded then.
I mean, the big things for me is I end up being more of a control player, and clever planning on Ophelia. It's a 12-inch range, stat 7 versus willpower. You can target allies. They take a walk action. If they scale, you draw a card on it. Has done more to control boards. Like I said, it's her signature, so...
Yeah. I mean, objectively, it seems like a very control-y thing. Plus, it has draw out secrets, right?
Yeah. Draw secrets on it. And then, honestly, Sammy, her totem, also has a Soulstone ability called Cauldron once per turn. Move a model within range 4 inches. For every raise, and it is TN3, you get to move another model. There have been so many times where I've just had Sammy walk 5, Cauldron, and deny my opponent points and score me points, just because I was able to move, unresisted 3 models.
Yeah. But hear me out, though, right? Would it not just be stronger to have killed your opponent's 4 models with Ophelia's Red Cage Raider?
So here's the thing, is at least for Cauldron, it doesn't interact with my opponent at all. If I have to shoot you, there's a chance that you just flip better than me.
Yeah.
And in this case, you just move and I win. So
yeah, Red Cage Raider obviously does an insane amount of damage, but at some point I feel like that's gonna get fixed, because it probably needs to pretty badly. Nonetheless, as things currently stand, Anne-Marie, do you have any Ophelia thoughts?
I think this is really the gem in Bayou right now. She and both of them are good. I personally like Red Cage Raider. It's a little bit more straightforward. It's such a feels bad if you have this master and she doesn't have a melee. That's just rough reggae for me. I'm interested to hear about if y'all play the Hog Oil Salesman.
Nope.
Really? It's like an auto hire for me.
That's fine. I don't.
I don't either.
Okay.
Yeah, I get it, but no, I don't play that model. I think here's my problem with it is that Hog Oil Ointment is a very situational and not particularly exciting bonus action, and it's tough for me to justify hiring models, especially in a crew like this where your crew card action is super relevant turn 1 and extremely marginally relevant thereafter. Because you just on subsequent turns, you don't need to do your crew card action very often, and there are models in your crew who are specifically designed to do like that and nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, just like to pull up the long shanks on this, the stats do not speak, strictly speaking, to one is wildly more popular. It's like 55 to 60. 60 actually is for overloaded, and they both have a 49% win rate. Oh, that's not true. Red Cage is 51%. So like, I don't know. I mean, I've seen her do 1 billion damage, but maybe the secret's not out. Maybe people just aren't as committed to damage in this edition because everything's killy. But I've been on the bad touch end of Red Cage Raider. Of Red Cage Raider, and it's not fun. So as far as damage is concerned, this crew, especially if we're talking Red Cage Raiders, triple plus flip, there are few things in the game that are as damagey, and it's like Mayfang.
And also worth mentioning too, you have the trigger where you do 2 damage for every impact token. This is where you really want to bring in the Effigy, because it hands out impact.
The Effigy gets hired 100% of the time in this crew.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, I forgot to mention that earlier. Obviously, like the Effigy not only can hand out upgrades, but also is going to give an impact, which is pretty great.
And this is Squish and Squash's native keyword.
Yes, as well. Yeah, good point. Jeez. Triple plus flip damage. That's not a question. As far as scheming potential, like, is there a lot of outside scheming in this crew?
Yes.
Is there really? What are we looking at?
Well, especially if you're playing overloaded, like she's got that sparkling exhibition shooting.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's more counter scheming, but yeah.
And
no,
Hog Oil comes in.
you do make a marker, but you need a marker to target. You can't just make a marker within 16 inches. You have to have a marker within 16 inches to target. Yeah. So.
Fair enough.
And then doesn't Francois has a built-in ram trigger. What is it? Oh no, it's a tomes trigger where you just drop a ski marker.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. Yeah, plus flip for scheming. Versatility, I mean, the crew doesn't have a whole lot of healing. The crew doesn't have a whole lot of like marker removal like other Bayou crews do, outside of the Ophelia shoots one off the board bit. So I think it's fair to say that I'm not going to put a plus flip in utility here. And I think she has, especially in Red Cage Raider, exceptional ability to reckoning. What do you think informants? Yeah, no?
I think she's fine in informants because it doesn't require her crew to spend AP on stuff that's not killing.
For sure, yeah. And I guess if you kill your opponent's models away from the informants markers, they're not going to score them. But plans and boundaries. I mean, do we think that she's particularly poised to do either well?
I think she's okay in plant. Boundaries is just too AP intensive.
Yeah. Ed, Anne-Marie, any disagreements on that?
I mean, when your entire utility is built around just the murder.
Just the murder. Yeah.
Just the murder.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you feel, Ed, do you think that Overloaded feels super strong in boundary or plant?
I feel like I can probably take Overloaded into anything, but I'm not gonna say that she's the best choice.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so we'll leave out. We'll neg flip boundary and plant, but plus flip informants and then fucking triple plus flip reckoning. Kill models. That's the name of the game. Let's hop over then to your friend and mine, Senor Sommer. He technically, oh no, I guess he doesn't. His son technically leads the Bayou. So bigger hat than you, Sommer, which is Sommer Bayou Boss, has when this model ends in activation, it can discard a card or drain a stone to give an enemy with within 6 staggered, and that's on every single model in the crew, including all of your Bayou gremlins, the peons, and then his unique models have Disappointed Backhand, which is a 4-inch no flip signature stone action to deal 1 damage to an ally, move it up to 4, and it gains an impact token. Sorry, the model that's taking the action moves up to 4 inches and gains an impact token. Sommer himself, Sommer Bayou Boss, is the summoner version. Although they both kind of do, because they both summon Bayou Gremlins, but Sommer Bayou Boss is the one that summons Good Old Boys and Gremlin Criers. The other version of Sommer, Loot Monger, lets you summon 3 Bayou Gremlins during the start phase of turn 1 near his deployment zone. His whole crew gets Bayou 2 cards, so during activations that this model declared, so not defensively, you can cheat with the top card of your deck, but you have to declare triggers if able, and then the unique models seize the opportunity, which once per activation targets an enemy marker, you place 6 inches away, you place in base contact with the target, and if it's a ski marker, you eat it and get an impact token. You eat it regardless, but you get an impact token if it's a scheme. And then you can stone for drawing a card. Ed, have you... I think you're probably the more Sommer-based and the most Big Hat-based of the Bayou players on this call. So talk us through Lootmonger and Bayou Boss.
So I have a lot more rips with Bayou Boss. Like we already discussed how good Jebediah is. So it's one of the best models in the faction, I think. Like just having access to him.
Yeah, this is of course the other faction he's native to. Yeah.
Like Lenny, his signature action is his melee. He's a high damage beater. Whacked Piglet is surprisingly good and catches people off guard all the time. Just to bounce 2 damage to something within 8, which is a really long range. Toss is good for getting into position. I actually really like Disappointed Backhand. I did not like it initially when we were in playtest. But post playtest, being able to just pop one of your Bayou Gremlins to move 4, gain an impact token, and draw a card as a signature action.
Right.
Even for a
and
Soul
you'll be
Stone.
killing it with an ally, which means it won't have to discard. Yeah.
Yeah. Just is so much value.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I like the versatility that Bayou Boss brings.
Emery, do you have any sommering?
I've never seen this keyword on the table in this edition.
Amazing.
I know
this was the last keyword that I saw on the table. In no, second to last. Tony was the last, but Sommer was the first last.
But reading through the cards, Greggy and Olaf sounds good. I mean, it sounds interesting and does some things. I'm interested in it, but don't have a lot to say.
Yeah,
I really like Sommer. I'm pretty impressed. I actually, so I played against Ed's Lootmonger, and I like Lootmonger a lot. I think that Lootmonger's like he's got it. Like his crew card action's really strong. His attack actions are strong. He doesn't summon Bayou Gremlins as well as the original, but Lenny can.
Yeah.
I really like, by the way, Lenny I think is sometimes an out of keyword hire in Wizz-Bang when in a very specific and funny circumstance, which we'll talk about when we get to Wizz-Bang. But in general, I don't know. I'm a fan of Sommer. I think that he's very schemy, like super schemy. And original Sommer, like Bayou Boss Sommer can just drown your opponent in peons.
Yeah. I think, and they all basically, you're going to have a million ways to draw cards off of them. So this might, I definitely, I think in the Bayou, it's the most card velocity crew for sure. I don't know if it's the most card velocity crew in the game, but it could be. It's maybe next to like Molly too. I don't know. Damn it. Not 2. I lied. Next to Molly Chaotic Conductor. But yeah, it's sort of nuts. I think, yeah, so I think damage-wise, like, there's a couple models that do some damage, but I don't think that there's anything that's super crazy, right? Is it just Lenny that's really kind of a big damagey boy? I mean,
Sommer, like, Lootmonger Sommer has, like, an 8-inch range stat 6 damage 4 laser gun.
Yeah, I mean, situationally damage.
Yeah, having played against that crew, it's a damage 4 laser gun. It's so trivial. Okay. It's so trivial to get markers. It's 6 inches is a long way, and sometimes it's a damage 6 laser gun because of blow your mind. So like your opponent, people who aren't, it does take setup. It's not something you just walk off and do. But if your opponent isn't ready for it, sometimes you just like go like misappropriate in your junk, like blow you up for 18 damage.
Okay, well that's kind of rude, but all right.
Or more like 12 is more likely than 18, but it can be 12 in two swings.
Yeah. Ed, do you think Bayou Boss is particularly damagey?
No, he's not.
Overall, crew-wise, are you inclined to neg flip them or plus flip them on damage? Not
I think
necessarily.
I'd be more
in comparison
inclined to
a
plus
failure.
flip, just
Okay.
because they do have access to it.
Yeah, fair enough. So we'll give him plus flip on damage. Obviously, we're going to give Somber like a double plus flip on scheming. There's no doubt that that's not kind of the main focus of this crew. And then utility wise, like they draw a shit ton of cards. I think at least a single plus flip there, if not double. Anyone want to fight me on double?
I mean, let's say single plus flip each on scheming and utility. Maybe double
Really?
plus. Maybe actually double plus on scheming.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fine.
I
We'll go
agree.
double plus flip on scheming, single plus flip on utility. As far as crews wise, do they stand near things good and not die? Not really. I think arguably we're looking at an egg flip on informants. The crew is also completely fucked when it comes to reckoning, right? Oh no, they're peons, aren't they?
They are peons.
Oh, okay. Oh, so not completely fucked then, but I don't think that the crew does particularly well in Reckoning, so I won't give them like 4 negative flips, but I think we're gonna neg flip them there, unless I'm crazy. No, going once, going twice.
No.
Fair enough. But as far as boundary and plant explosives are concerned, plant explosives, you have access to a bunch of scheming models that are fast. Boundary dispute, you have access to a shit ton of AP. I think both are.
A lot of it's Bayou Gremlin AP, so you got to be.
A lot of it's Bayou Gremlin AP, so you can't maybe. I don't know. Do you find boundary disputes easy, Ed?
Yeah, actually, I take Somer, Bayou Boston, and Boundary all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's doable. I don't think he's like better at it than some of the best masters in the game, but I think he's totally respectable in it.
Fair enough. We'll give him plus flip boundary, plus flip plant, and that concludes the Bayou boss. Let's talk then about the Clampets. They are some models. There are 2 different models. There's Tides of Meridian Ballyhoo Bucket Clampets, which get submerged. So when they exceed on an attack targeting an enemy model, you can, if you have a drift token, resolve it basically. You place within 5 in base contact with the tide marker. They also have strong current on all of their models, which lets them, when they walk or charge, pitch a card or drain a stone to make a tide marker within 3 after you resolve it. Their tactical action that they give out to friendly angler models is also the crew-wide Oh No Ogopogo, which 6-inch range, TN5, target a friendly tide marker, and pulse out a TN13 defense duel that does 2 damage, and possibly irresistible stagger, which is pretty strong. And they are, they're an armory murder sort of attack with a lot of stuff to do there. The Clampets Fisherfolk, on the other hand, take all of their friendly models and give them fishing holes, so when they exceed on an attack, actions that deal damage, you can rip tide markers to do an extra damage. The unique models gain Nautical Nonsense, which makes a tide marker, and Caught a Biggin, which targets a tide marker, and you declare an attack, drawing range and line of sight from the target. If it succeeds, you get to draw a card, but then you lose the tide marker. Sam, have you done much Fisher Folkin?
Yeah. So here's my thoughts on Angler, and I'll try to be brief because I know I haven't been super successful at that. I think that Fisherfolk is a lot better than Ballyhoo Bucket. I like the bucket. I think it's cute. I love the fact that it charges 10 inches. But
It sure does.
Fisherfolk is just it's a model with stealth and leap and a really, really good crew card. It's much better to just like jack up your damage with fishing holes, and Caught a Biggin is also very, very strong. Caught a Biggin is a deceptively strong ability because it's a bonus action, which means models that don't normally get to make an attack 3 times in their activation can make an attack 3 times when you're playing Clip Fisherfolk. Drift tokens are really strong. With all that said, this is a crew that you need to be careful with planning about. First, because it's not trivial to get tide markers where you want them. I mean, you've got Nautical Nonsense, but there's like activation order issues. And it's also much more challenging than it looks to keep drift markers out. The only models that can really reliably refresh their own drift markers without like having to devote a whole AP to doing it are Skulker skins. But if you are staying on top of keeping your tide markers planted and having drift tokens, this crew is just absurdly fast. And like the models that are good at the same thing they were good at in third edition. Like Uncle Bog is still just nightmarish to deal with if you're trying to scheme. Auntie Mel still does a ton of damage.
Yeah. Anne-Marie, have you clamped much?
I have not. I do really like that they're a marker crew. There aren't a whole lot of marker crews in the Bayou right now. I mean, Swampfin's got some as well, but it helps with some of the strategies, having that ability, and then speed helps a lot here too. So I
Yeah.
like a lot what they do.
Ed, any Clampett thoughts?
I have the 0 4th edition Clampets.
Yeah, fair enough.
Things-
Yeah. So all in all, I mean, where are we at? Damage wise, there's not a whole lot that does a lot of damage.
No,
but
they're
Mel certainly
they're
does.
plus twist on damage if you're playing Clampets 1, because just look at all your models and then imagine
You mean-
how much damage they would.
You mean
Sorry,
Ballyho?
no, I mean Fisherfolk. My apologies.
Okay.
If you're like, look at all the models in their crew and think like, what would happen if all the damage stat on all their attacks was 1 higher? Like,
Yeah.
it's really easy to make that happen.
Sure.
And
Well,
I'd also say-
no, it's not. You have to have markers in pretty close
to the model
places to
attacking.
your models.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's again, if you want to set up markers, you can. Like, there's a lot of easy ways to get markers out if you really want them.
Yeah, fair enough.
And especially when you have like the ability to attack through tide markers, you can do things like have your models in the back line just sit there like pooping out markers, and then have your models in the front line attack through them and then eat them to do damage.
Yeah. As far as scheming is concerned, is there much going on there?
I think I don't want to say minus, because they actually do have a lot of good scheming ability. Like, they have Uncle Bog as a really good counter schemer. You've got
Yeah, the Buckaroos have Onward.
the Buckaroos have not only Onward, they can do it at the start of their activation, a 10-inch teleport plus base width. And then they can Onward 3 times and drop a scheme marker each time, potentially.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so that sounds schemy.
Yeah. And then
Plus-
and then utility is like fine, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, they're a marker crew, right? So they can drop
Yeah.
markers. They have that going for them. They can move them around. They can put severe and concealing where they want. And I think that's pretty indicative of utility. Where do they excel scheme wise? I mean, certainly, I think
Explosives.
boundary
Explosives and
for sure.
boundary. They're super
Yeah.
good on boundary, because
Yeah.
again, it's what I was talking about earlier. You could just put Bog. You can like interact with your opponent's markers to kind of cluster them up, and then just put Bog near them and just laugh,
Yeah, or the keyword higher. What's his face?
or both.
Yeah, why not? And then as far as informants or reckoning, I mean, do you think that I mean, they don't have a lot of move your opponent's models around stuff, right?
They have some, not a ton,
Yeah.
but they do. They have a fair bit actually. Skulker skins do it. Cervantes does it. Fisherfolk do it.
Do you think we're plus or negative?
On informants, I'd say informants is a neg, because they're
Okay.
not durable. That's the
Yeah.
big thing. This is
Yeah.
informants wants you to be durable, and they're not.
And reckoning, I think, is a similar conversation. They're probably not surviving a whole lot of murder, at least in the terms of murdering once or twice around. But then again, if you keep your model clustered near bug, maybe
Well,
it's harder.
One
to
of the
pick them up,
ways
I
you
don't know.
win on recover evidence is by basically
Oh,
staying
I keep
away
calling
from-
it reckoning.
Yeah.
I mean
One of the-
recover evidence.
One of the ways
well,
that like recover evidence actually plays out in practice is that you keep away from your opponent, so you don't give them the opportunity to get kills on you, and this crew is really good at that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's a small board though. Yeah. Fair enough. Cool.
I'm very high
let's,
on Angler. I love them. I think they're a great crew.
Yeah. I'm gonna put them on a knife flip though on recover evidence.
Okay, fine.
Okay. So that's Clampets. Let's talk Ulix. This boyo, the Hogfather, he's got some sturdy critters. Ulix Hogfather gives every Sui model, when they're killed, make a ski marker because they are made out of delicious bacon. That's a little much, but okay. And then they're all fully ignore severe terrain. The friendly unique Sui models and living Sui models, which is a weird characteristic, but it kind of works out. Which, because living and beast aren't the same thing anymore. You know, if you're beast, you're beast. If you're living, you're living. They're not the same. And they have Sui. I think it's Sui.
It's Sui.
Because it's an I and the font just does bad eyes.
Sweet.
Yeah. Once per activation, summon a piglet with a glutted token, which means it's 50% of the way towards growing up. That's the Hog Father. He's sort of all about that sort of glutted nonsense. Pork Belly Protector, on the other hand, comes with giving Sui models flaming bacon, so when they receive a raise on any attack, the target gains burning. When they end their activation, you can rip burning from a model within 2. If you do so, you get a glutted token, so they get to grow up a little bit faster there. And then their friendly unique models and Sui models, not the living kind, but instead the beast kind, gain Mad Dash. So for a signature action and a stone on a TN2, they get to move their speed +2 in a straight line, ignoring models, damaging enemy models they move through by 1. And on a ram, they can summon a Piglet with burning in base contact with one of the models that they damaged. And of course, if it, when it ends its activation, you can rip burning to get glutted. Anne-Marie, you're probably, maybe even the world's foremost Ulix player.
I've played a lot of Ulix. I've played a lot of Ulix.
Talk us through this pork belly boyo.
Played a lot last edition, played a lot this edition. It's not as good as I want it to be. Yeah. It's really, so you want to play the pigs, but it's tough hiring anything in that doesn't have a signature action. And like for the most of your little pigs that you're like bringing in, they have the same signature action, which is high. So it's like a TN7 or 8 and a 4-inch, and all you can do is remove a remains or ski marker. Mm-hmm. You can use your own or the enemy ones, but you lose a lot of utility, and I feel like you lose a lot of AP. Yeah. That being said, between the two of them, they're both good. I think probably Pork Belly Protector is a little bit better, just because you have a little bit more damage that you can put out. Mm-hmm. It's a huge keyword. You have a lot of versatility bringing in the Swine Twirlers. I actually like the Squealer a lot. That's kind of a good one. I just feel like it's not really one of the best keywords right now competitively in the Bayou, but I think it's a really fun one, and especially for a newer player just getting into it, it's a pretty easy keyword to kind of learn to get you into the game.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Ed, do you plan to grow up strong, Wild Boar?
I always plan on that, but I think thick fat means that they're one of the tankier keywords in Bayou. Reducing damage by 2 is significant for a token that you're picking up fairly regularly, I think. So I do like their durability, but I've only gotten games with them pre-release, so in beta.
Yeah. Sam, what are your Hogfather thoughts? Do you come to me on this the day of my pig daughter's wedding?
No, I don't. I don't know. I haven't played Ulix yet this edition. I want to. I'm looking at it and I'm like, Pork Belly Protector looks like he does some interesting stuff. I mean, I think that Hogfather might be better just in a really boring way because Corn-Fed is like a bananas strong rule. Yeah. Like, I think there's a reasonable argument that like literally the best thing you can do is just like have Ulix sitting right behind your pigs and then just have a front line of pigs and pitch your whole hand to them so your opponent can't like no sell your opponent's whole turn and then just go nuts with them and like rip off the top of the deck. But that's weird and kind of, I'm not
boring
sure.
And very inconsistent. Yeah,
it's boring. I think it's more consistent than you think, but it is a little dull. So I don't know. I'm gonna get around to them at some point, but like right now, my feeling is that Hogfather, Pork Belly Protector is doing a lot of really cool, interesting things that you can kind of play around with. That probably are not super strong, although speed 8 on him is very, very good. And Hogfather is doing stuff that is much more boring, but that is probably stronger because you have very powerful models that will never die.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a ton of healing, and because the thing with healing, right, in this edition is healing is very good if you're durable enough to not just get one activation killed, and you don't need to no-sell all of their damage with Corn-Fed. All you need to do is no-sell enough of it that the model survives, and then you activate Ulix and go like proper care. Well, you can only do it once, but like, proper care, higher like slop, get your slop haulers going.
Yeah. I mean, I think, for what it's worth, I don't think that you're probably effigying much in this crew either. I don't know, it's weird. Hogfather has one of the lowest win percentages in the edition right now, and has almost no games reported, which is kind of sad.
I'm probably the 3 games that have played.
It's 18 total games across Longshanks, so I wouldn't be surprised if you were a very significant amount of those games. I have personally witnessed you play 6 of them in rated tournaments for 4th edition. So
So you said no on the Effigy. Actually, there's a super niche case where you're always going to bring, if you're playing Pork Belly Protector, you always want to bring in the Effigy, because if you look at the Sow, her damage is 0 damage, but she does it 3 times. But if you bring in the Effigy, put an impact on her, now you're doing
3
damage. Yeah, and
I do hate and like the Sow's damage nonsense, because like your opponent basically has to just be fucking paranoid as shit, or they're gonna get rocked, because if you cheat in the red Joker against them, you're killing any model. It doesn't matter what it is.
I had a fun moment when I was playing EVS and I lost Calypso and Beeb popped out and somebody charged Beeb with the Sow, and I was like, he's resilient, sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so -1 raise 3 times, which is really funny. I will say that if they get 2, you're fucked, but if they don't, then you're probably that's really funny. It's so sad. This is a weird keyword. It's got a lot going on. What are they? I mean, damage wise, obviously, like the whole crew is built around putting huge ass pigs in your face and doing damage. So we're definitely giving them a plus flip on damage. Are they scheming heavily?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Hogfather, everything dies and you can just make piglets and then they turn into ski markers.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. Oh, bacon makes them ski marker. Am I crazy? Oh yeah, it sure does. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, fine, scheme away, but where are they in terms of versatility? I mean, they have a bunch of damage reduction if you're playing certainly corn-fed, but also just like in general with the tokens. The glutted tokens. Is there anything else that they're doing? Like, they're not really removing a shit ton of markers that aren't scheme or remains.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of versatility. You can, because it's just such a big keyword. You've got both the swine twirlers and the hog whisperers to kind of bring in there, and the slop haulers. So you have some versatility, but I would say negative flip on that.
Yeah, I mean, also you do have a bunch of healing, like a whole bunch of models in this crew heal, and it's not only healing, but also you're looking at like growing things and summoning models. I don't know. Maybe this is a neg flip for versatility or for utility, but
yeah, I agree.
Where are they on boundary disputes? Do they boundary dispute well? No, not really. I mean, swine twirlers maybe help out with it a little bit, but I think I'm inclined to give them a neg flip there. I don't think that they do badly in plant though. Like, you have a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, I think plant they're good at. Boundary disputes, that you just don't have a lot of out of activation movement, which is super helpful in boundary.
But I think that their big deal is probably informants. Like, your models are hard to kill, you're good at killing the opponent, scooting them around.
Yeah, as long as you're not in like the most broken match against possible on the board.
And do you think that they do well at recover evidence, not reckoning, like I've been saying this whole fucking video?
I think they do decent at recover evidence. That's actually one that's really good for them, because you're trying to kill things, and then when you kill things, you get remains markers along with that, and then that's what makes your piggies bigger.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, fine. Okay, I'm inclined. Let's do it. Recover evidence. Plus flip. Moving on to the penultimate Bayou crew, Wong. Specifically, Wong's crew, the Wizz-Bang. So Wizz-Bang, the enchanter Wong, gives all of his models the ability to, when they take damage from a pulse stone, to heal it instead. Their charges may generate non-general tactical actions instead of melee actions, but any movement that they make as a result of the generated action is ignored. And then uniques gain the old switcheroo, which targets a pyrotechnic marker, Wong's special marker, to make a scheme marker in base contact, deal damage to models within 2, and then rip the target, possibly summoning his totem flying piglets. Wong the Wonderful, on the other hand, has pick a card, so all friendly Wizz-Bang models gain spell defense. Pick a card after resolving an attack against this model. You can drain a stone to flip a card, which can't be cheated, and if it's ram or mask, they get the Wong model gets glowy and draws a card, and if it's a crow or tome, the attacker gets entranced, and you get to make a pyrotechnic marker within 3 of them. They all get fast cast, which means on the charge they can do spells instead of melee if they want, and the uniques gain inspect the stage, which just makes a pyrotechnic marker within 6 as a signature action. Sam, you're like kind of the Wong guy. What do you think?
Tell me. To the Wong guy. I have not actually played Wizz-Bang this edition. It's top of my list.
Yeah.
I will say, I think Wong, the Wonderful, is probably better because he's just like straightforwardly very strong. And also because it's much easier for him to just hand out glowy to everybody, because what you really want to do is hand out glowy to everybody, because your crew gets insane when you have glowy on it.
Now, so glowy this edition, though, is attacks that target them or ignore concealing.
Yes, but all of your models have, not all, but many of your models have special text that activates when they have glowy. Like Swinecursed have a built-in trigger on their attack that requires you to have glowy, but makes the attack base 3 damage, so base 4 when it charges, and irreducible. So you just have like your basic 6-cost minion slinging irreducible 4 damage hits. When, for example, you fling them with the Pigapult. The thing I really want to talk about with Wong, though, in the sort of brief time we have to discuss, is Alphonse. Because the stone trigger on Alphonse's toss is absolutely nuts. It is a very strong trigger. For those who don't know, it is kill the target, deal 1 damage to all models within pulse 1 of the target, and draw 2 cards. The 2 obvious uses for it are on stuffed piglets, where it's 2 damage to all models within 1 inch and draw 2 cards, and on Bayou Gremlins, where it's draw 3 cards. The problem is that due to a late beta change, the way this trigger works is the model dies at the time the trigger is declared, which is before it moves. So it's clearly intended to, from the flavor and from the way it's written, to like throw the model, and then at the end of the model's movement, it pops and deals damage to people near them. In practice,
I don't know that that's really true. In flavor, oops too hard is like he's picking it up and squishing them, not throwing them,
but I mean
maybe.
it's like you throw it too hard, I think. I don't know. It's if it worked that way, it would be a lot better, because they still have to take the TN defense duel or take 2 damage. But it's still really strong to just spend 2 soulstones and draw 6 cards, because you had 2 Bayou Gremlins. And you're like, where did these Bayou Gremlins come from? Well, how about you hire Lenny? And he can summon Bayou Gremlins. Yeah, you're eating your soulstones, but like, what else are you spending them on? So the fact that you can sometimes just do that is extremely funny. But outside of that, Alphonse is a damage 3 stat 6 beater with a built-in positive twist, who basically will at all relevant times have 3 AP attack to attack with. And he has Warning Growl. He's really strong. He's the other thing you can do with him is you can just hire him out of keyword into Big Hat, and then you get all the Bayou Gremlins that Big Hat gets for showing up, and you just spend 2 soulstones a turn and draw 6 cards every turn. And then if your opponent gets near Alphonse, they just get squashed. So this is a really cool crew. It has a lot of fun play to it. I think that Bokors, minor note, Bokors are great, like really good 5-stone minion. It's a 5-stone minion that has 3 AP all the time. And it is surprisingly hard to kill because it's only got 5 health, but it can cash in glowy for damage reduction, 2 damage reduction, and it's hard to kill. And it's hands out insight, just does a bunch of cool stuff. So this is a great model, a great keyword. It's got a lot of great models in it. You just really need you need the cards to be a little nice to you, because what you really need is you need your pyrotechnic markers to be handing out glowy, which means you need those masks, and you won't always have them.
Yeah, the pyrotechnic markers are really unique. It checks what the top card of your discard pile is at the end phase, and then whatever that is, it does stuff.
Although most of the time, a lot of the abilities that you have that generate pyrotechnic markers immediately resolve their effects.
Them immediately. Yeah. Very interesting. There's a lot going on with this crew, but I mean, so in terms of murder, obviously they have Alphonse. Is there anything else in the crew that really does damage? I mean, I think Wong Wonderful has a
Wong does a lot of damage. Swinecurse do a lot of damage.
Yeah. So we'll say +1. Oh, I'm sorry. Ed and Anne-Marie, do you guys have anything to say against Wong?
It's okay.
I totally forgot. Anne-Marie, what do you got? Yeah. What do you got? You got any Wong in?
I've been getting down on some of the Wong action.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think lightning bugs.
You played Wong a bunch? Oh, I'm sorry.
I played against Wong a bunch.
Oh, you played
like
against
a lot.
Wong. Okay.
Yeah. I've seen it I've seen a lot of other people play it. I think actually the lightning bugs are pretty good for a 4-stone model. I think you have a lot of 4-stone model, or those 3 and 4-stone minions in the game right now that are just like not worth it. They actually have some utility. Yeah.
Certainly when they can charge and spell, that seems much better. But
yeah, they can charge and spell. I mean, they got a positive flip. It's only a defense 1, but they can do some cool things.
Yeah. Ed, do you have any Wong thoughts?
Again, very limited Wong games, but the flying piglets having the bacon beacon is some of the most fun I've had in 4th edition. Just some of the shenanigans for drawing range from your tactical actions. from the piglets.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, and I think obviously they lend themselves excruciatingly well to the Pigapult. Right, because they pop when they... What do they do when they die? They make... Scheme. Oh, yeah, scheme or pyrotechnics whenever they die. Yeah, for sure.
That is another thing, by the way, is that you don't have to oops too hard. You could just throw them and then relent to the defense duel that it causes and then trigger your death at the end of the movement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so they do stuff. That's a thing. So plus flip for damage, I suppose we're in that place. Certainly the enchanter can, with that particular nonsense, throw the flying piglets and scheme pretty well that way. Is there much else going on schemey wise in the crew? Or are we just not really? Not really.
I mean, you got a 5-stone minion that leaps, but
yeah.
And we already talked about the Pigapult.
Yeah, we already talked about the Pigapult.
But I don't think in terms of like the how you grade schemey crews on a curve, I don't think this is
I think we're neg flipping them on schemes. As far as utility is concerned, I mean they don't have a lot of healing, but the pyrotechnic markers do a lot. Drawing a bunch of cards with Alphon seems really strong. I think
you have a lot of weird tech.
Yeah, you have a lot of weird tech, which I don't know exactly how to use or explain, but I think that it's there. So
like you've seen lightning bugs just have a little aura. You're not going to benefit from it because they're really fragile and you do within 2 inches, but it increases all your opponent's TNs by 1.
Yeah. There's just a bunch of goofy nonsense going on, and I think if you want goofy nonsense, and it came to the Bayou,
also the ability to charge into general actions is very, very strong. That's a utility thing for sure.
Yeah. Into non-general actions. Into non-general tactical.
Sorry, non-general tactical. The charge into tacticals.
Yeah. Again, also, if you want a crew where you have to read every single fucking sentence 7 times to understand it, boy, have I got a Wong.
The reason it's non-general tacticals is that when they previewed this one in the beta, they were like, "Here's Wong's card," and my immediate reaction within like 5 minutes was, "You just made his whole crew able to charge into an interact," and they were like, whoops."
Yeah, or I mean, fucking or charge into a charge, or charge in, or well, you can't charge.
No, it already had the rule that you
walk.
No, it already had the rule that you couldn't move during the tactical.
Oh, sure.
But
okay.
it just
it
did say non-general, so
I want to just charge walk. That's what I want to do. I want to charge, and then I want my melee attack to be walk. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird templating for sure, and you don't think about like walk and interact as tactical actions, but they are. So it makes you think. It's a thinker crew. I feel like as a general rule, I don't think that they perform particularly well in recover evidence because they're generally speaking pretty fragile. I think that's also kind of true of informants. Unless someone wants to correct me on that, I'm going to neg flip them on both. How do we feel about plant and boundary?
I think they're fine on both.
Yeah, I think they're fine on both.
Okay,
they're not particularly wonderful.
So I'm going to neg flip them on all 4 strats then. Yeah. Because like fine is fine, but fine isn't good. And I think that the way that we're doing the rating, again, weird crew, it does a lot of things interestingly. I don't think that they particularly excel at any of the strats in any given way. Yeah. Going once, going twice.
Yeah, I mean they're fun to play. They're just not.
I do think they're good. I just don't think they're particularly good at one strat over another because the stuff they're doing is so weird and orthogonal.
Okay, well, I am I giving them plus flips on plant or boundary? No, so I'm giving them.
I would say
that's the rule.
Look, I think I would give them a plus on informants. Now that I'm thinking about it,
okay,
they have some very durable models, and informants is a strat that one of the ways to be good at it is to really make your opponent not want to stand out in the open near a marker, and they're really good at punishing you if you're standing out in the open. And they do have a lot of aggressive offensive movement tricks. So I would say informants is the one that I think is probably their best strat.
Weird. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I don't really understand what just happened, but I'll give them a plus flip on informants and we can move on.
That's very Wong. Something
Yeah. Oh, you're confused? It sounds like you aren't playing Wong.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. And then lastly, just in case everyone wasn't already confused enough, let's talk about Zoraida. So Zoraida has the most mind-fucking abilities that exist in probably the game right now. But Bog Witch, Zoraida has reading the cards, an ability no one has ever resolved ever and will continue in this edition not to do. But after resolving an attack action where an enemy model cheated fate in a duel with your friendly Swamp Fiend, you can look at the top card of its fate deck and may discard that card. Doesn't matter what that text says. No one's ever remembered to do it, and it's not going to start happening now. And then unique Swamp Fiends get Foreseen Doom. So after an enemy model fails an attack targeting you, you can drain a stone to deal 2 irreducible damage to the attacker. That might be good. Depends. I mean, I don't know. Are you wasting stones on it? Who can say? The weird thing that she has going on for Bogwitch is she has Strands of Fate. So during the start phase, the opposing player must discard a card. That's all that says. It doesn't say anything else, because it sure doesn't say or play with their control hand revealed until the end phase, because that's not a choice that anyone is ever going to willingly make. So it says discard a card in the start phase. So you might as well just be Anya. You have one less. Oh, sorry, Anya from 3rd edition. She doesn't do that anymore. You just have one less card in hand. Marshborn Malice, the crew card for Swamp Hag, gives Penetrating Stench back. It's just basically almost exactly how it worked in 3rd. So when an enemy model activates engaged by one or more models with this ability, it must discard a card, drain a stone, or get stunned. Importantly, though, just like in 3rd edition, if you are already stunned, then you have to discard a card or pitch a stone. So that's that. Hopefully you can do that. I don't know if it's viable, but it's a thing. And then uniques gain a new stone bonus that just unfliplessly heals themselves too, and gives them a bolstered token. And she's got a big moth lady. None of us have played Zoraida. I played against Zoraida a couple times. Maybe I'll play Zoraida. So, and I haven't really talked a lot. So let me walk you through this keyword. Yeah, does that sound good? Unless Ed wants to do it.
You can do it.
I don't know that I can, quite frankly, but we'll try. So Zoraida Swamp Hag has a lot of nonsense going on. She has Off the Path Still, which is still an amazing ability. She has a range 8 3 damage spell that if you get stunned, you get to fuck with their deck a little bit. And she heals as a bonus and gives out bolstered. Mirewing, her totem, has Up We Go, which is super strong and can just scoot across the board. Its speed as a signature action. And it hands out poison as you do, which is just kind of like a lot of stuff. But I don't, and where like models are healing themselves as a signature action and Penetrating Stench, the name of the game is really get things stunned, put them near things, so when they activate, they're going to have to lose resources. And Zoraida Bogwitch is just nuts. So she has the voodoo doll, her old totem, who gives out voodoo curses. You can have up to 2 voodoo curses out. A lot of the stuff that Zoraida and the voodoo doll are doing is about giving the voodoo upgrades, and then dealing damage to them successively, putting tokens on them. And Zoraida herself can give out. She can give out like obeys, as well as teleport around the board, although you can't use it for scheming, because when she does her teleport action, she gets Craven. She can also summon effigies, so you're allowed to, if you can find a remains marker, rip it off the board to summon any of the effigy models, which might be an interesting toolkit. Jesse did it a couple times against me. I thought it was interesting. I didn't really think it was that big of a deal. The effigies do have the text in their grow ability that you're not allowed to grow them if they're summoned, so you can't ever make them into the emissaries. But the effigies are her allied, which means they do get, in this case, reading the cards, which doesn't matter, and Foreseen Doom, which also won't matter. Probably, because you're not going to waste soulstones on it for them. As far as like the crew is concerned, like Bad Juju, surprisingly, finally a hireable model, unlike 3rd edition where it wasn't, and I won't hear objections to that. Like you have access to a couple of really interesting things. You have access to the Leech King, which is Neverborn's only source of stunt, so that's super good. The Groot Slang might be playable nowadays. He can make bog markers. He's still size 4 for some reason, but he does at least a decent amount of damage now, although I don't know necessarily that that's why you're hiring him, because like ranged stun and he's slightly durable. Is pretty good. A lot of the old weird Bayou stuff is still in her keyword. Bayou Gators, meh. But like Stumpy and McTavish are Windmill Slam auto hires in this keyword for sure. They're both insanely strong models. Stumpy's gonna help you in the wanting to stick near people and just pen stench them. And Will of the Wisps do a weird thing where they can still grow into Adza, and they have a thing where they can attach something and then grow out of them, but I don't remember what that was now. Does anyone know what the fuck I'm talking about?
the wisps of willows.
Yeah.
I want to point out that the Swamp Hag's crew card action is just the Proof Prophet's crew card action, except it doesn't have draw out secrets. It costs you a stone, and you can only target yourself rather than targeting your friends too. Also, you don't get poisoned from it, which is pure upside in Tri-Chi.
Yeah.
It's really funny that it's just like worse on like 3 different axes than an existing crew card action in the same faction.
Yeah. Oh, bad Juju capped the shifting Arth ability from Kurgan, which is nice. I think bad Juju is a very solid model that you definitely want to be hiring. And like giving out stun and poison is like as a side venture, I think is pretty cool. Like I think that the average Zoraida crew nowadays is McTavish, Leech King, Stumpy. See where else you get. The Wild Geists have lost their anti-move tech. But like they're fine. They can give out stun and poisoned, just like a bunch of other stuff. I don't know. Honestly, this crew has a really low win rate despite posting a bunch of games, and it's not surprising because there's a lot going on, and I don't really understand what I'm supposed to be doing. So as far as damage is concerned, you have McTavish, you have Bad Juju. Zoraida herself doesn't do any damage really in either form. But like you can hire Bashe if you really want. Bashe can be Fate Weaver pulled because he can target friendlies. So like you can get to a plus flip in damage if you're really creative about it. Obviously I think that a lot of her models, especially the teleporting movement shenanigans that she does, really lend themselves towards scheming more than anything else. Especially, you know what? No, I can't justify a plus flipping damage. Anybody disagree with me? I think we're neg flipping damage on Zoraida.
I don't think that's what she's trying to do. Yeah, I think she's trying to like stun. I think she's just trying to like control the opponent, not kill them.
I think she's a hardcore control master, so for that reason I think we give her a plus flip in utility. Like she's trying to stun, she's trying to deny you resources. She can't really do a whole lot of locking you out, but she has lots of obey sort of obey potential, and just like a lot of like lock you down in the Heart Locker type stuff. And then like she can scheme, like regardless of which version you're bringing, you have a lot of models that are going to be fast and be able to move around the board really effectively. Although I think in terms of strategies, Boundary you're probably pretty good at, especially because you have Obey. Plant you're gonna struggle a little bit more at, so I think definitely a plus flip in Boundary. But I mean, you have a lot of fast models, so I think Plant's probably also gonna look plus flippy. Yeah,
I think Plant's good, because if you obey them to drop their own markers on their side, it's not your marker, but it is slowing down their ability to score. For sure.
And I think you're looking at relatively strong play in Informants, although you're not particularly good at being super sturdy, depending on which version you pick. And none of her models really have a whole lot of really great defensive tech. I will say that. I don't know. Anne-Marie, Sam, Ed, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think good in Informants, just because you have the ability to obey other people to walk away, other models to walk away.
Yeah. And I guess you do have Stumpy as well, right? So like you can put a Heart Locker down where you have a bunch of nonsense happening and stunning, and they don't really want to be near you. So if you're near the markers, that's probably bad. So I think that's enough to talk me into a plus flip on Informants. But I don't think Zoraida really excels in recover evidence at all. I think you're not very durable. I think in most cases outside of Stumpy, and I think that you don't have a whole lot of super high murder potential.
McTavish.
Obeys are really, really good in Boundary and in Plant. Like, it's hard it's hard for me to give her a bad score on either of those when she just has a way that it's like a relatively strong version of itself. So plus flip Boundary, Plant, plus Informants, negative recover evidence. This again is one of those keywords that's just like a bunch of big brain stuff. Like Zoraida Swamp Hag has a very, very high win percentage, but she doesn't have a lot of games reported. And Zoraida Bogwitch has a very low win percentage, and she does have a lot of games reported. So it's hard to tell.
The 22 games at 68% is cracked, but not enough to be statistically relevant, I think. But we'll get there one day. I think that's a wrap for Bayou. Is there anything, I guess, that anybody wants to talk about out of keyword or anything that we just didn't mention, or Bayou in general? Sam, final thoughts, Bayou as a faction?
I really like Bayou this edition. I think they're in a good place. They have a lot of cool different ways to play. I am continuing to be annoyed that like anti-demise tech is so swingy in terms of its impact on the game, and Bayou still doesn't get it. This is a big problem in 3rd edition too. But aside from that, no complaints. I love Bayou. Love the Bayou, and I look forward to playing it more.
Yeah, Ed, what are your thoughts on the Bayou?
Super fun to play. They've got a lot of different things that they do between the masters, so it doesn't get samey. You can switch up your game plan. The only negative I have is I live in Florida. Everybody owns Bayou, so at least 50% of our event attendance is a Bayou player.
I wonder if that's true of other countries in their areas that are primarily swamps. Like, I feel like this must do like super good in Eastern Europe, particularly like wherever The Witcher was filmed. Okay, that was a funny joke.
That'd be interesting to look at.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you're from the United States, one, I'm jealous, and two, get in the comments. Tell us if your swamp areas are predominantly Bayou. Emery, what do you think, Bayou?
I think Bayou's in a really good place. It's really fun to play in this edition, and I think competitively it has a big variety. And a lot of the tournaments that I've been going to, I'm not really seeing a whole lot of it, so it's almost underrepresented. And like half the time you play against someone, they're like, I haven't seen this on the table.
Yeah. Statistically, I can tell you for sure that Bayou are in the top half of factions right now, as it stands in like end of February 2026, when we're about 6 months of organized play out. We'll see where they stand at the end of the year, but currently they are by far the lowest in terms of games played at like 800 something compared to the next lowest faction of Thunders, which has less masters even at like a full 100 more games reported. 105, 800 exactly as reported as of talking. I should have pulled statistics more in the Neverborn video, and I apologize for that. Maybe I'll put them in the comments. So lastly, Sam, where can people hear from you, see you, talk to you, hide in your bushes?
They can't.
Oh damn! No, they can read your Goonhammer articles.
Yeah, that's true. I need to get back on the horse on that. I've been pretty busy with a variety of things, but yeah, check out Malifaux's writing on Goonhammer. I have updated all of the faction focuses that I did for 4th edition. So there's some new stuff in there. I've started a series on keyword focuses. I've only done a couple so far, but I intend to continue doing them. Would just love to get your comments and your views.
Wow. Ed, what are you up to, and where can people see you soon?
My buddy John and I have been traveling to a lot of events lately.
I know. I saw you recently.
Yes.
But the folks at home don't, though. Please continue. No. Sorry.
But we're trying to travel to more events. We are working on our own podcast where we're with the Bigger Hat folks down in Daytona.
That's such a big hat.
Yes. So we actually recorded a couple episodes right before the edition change, and then it was all irrelevant. So look forward to hearing from us, or not.
Wow. And also, I think folks can catch you at Gen Con, where you're the TO.
I will be the TO again this year at Gen Con.
Wow. We got some big plans for Gen Con, so stay tuned.
Yep.
Yeah. And Anne-Marie, what are you up to soon? Where can people see you? Will you be traveling to 16 more tournaments before I hit upload on the YouTube video?
I mean, I'll probably do one or two.
Yeah.
Yep. So I travel a lot, play a lot of Malifaux. It seems like I'm always in a different state every week.
That's it. This week you're presumably solid. Next week, are we doing Bose-Einstein condensate?
Ooh, of course.
Yeah, a thing that everyone knows what that is. It's fine. Okay. Goddamn, like fucking 0 jokes landed this whole goddamn episode. You people are awful. None of you are ever invited back. Just kidding. I love you all. You're my favorites. This has been Bayou. If you have questions or comments or Bayou-based concerns, please get in the comments. Let us know what you think. Let us know how you feel about what we did on the ratings. Call out my gratuitous graphical errors if I fuck any of the stuff that we talked about up. But most importantly, stay classy, internet. internet. Would everyone like to say goodbye to the internet?
Goodbye, internet.
Goodbye,
Adios, internet. Good.
Wow. And with that, we bid you adieu. I'm going to hit end now. Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by the planet. You can check out the video description below for all of our important info and links. You can see a link to the Discord if you want to come be nerds on the internet with us. We have channels for like all the games that we're playing and all of our community members are excited about. You can also check out all of our affiliate links for like our Redbubble merch store, our Pro Acryl discount code because they make the best hobby supplies on our planet and yours. And of course, our Wyrd affiliate link if you're buying Malifaux stuff straight from Jonathan Q. Wyrd himself. Most importantly, though, you can see a link to our Patreon where I post things from time to time, like behind the scenes cuts or early vids, and we even have a tier where I'll bake you cookies and send them to you in real life. Thanks a ton to our current patrons who cover the cost of all of our software to make these videos, and we couldn't do it without them. You can see their names appearing now across the screen. And until next time, goodbye the internet. We did it!